Hello. Hi there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. Sometimes I have to refresh the connection, but that's good. Let me just connect on the other one here. All right. Well, look at you, Ed. Is that truly you on a kayak this time? That's not artificial intelligence photo? That you with your dog in the kayak?
Yeah, that's part of my dog in Santa Barbara AI project. Yes.
Oh, it's an AI photo. Okay.
So I've got him and me everywhere in Santa Barbara.
Oh,
I do believe, is the dog wearing a life preserver there? That orange thing around his neck?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Oh, well, you better talk to the banana
Yes,
people
yeah,
and figure it
yes,
out.
he is.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
because
the the amazing thing is that it's got the yacht club right here. And I what I did was I told it, off of Ledbetter Beach, and that's that. The only problem is there are no mooring places for boats right here. So it's not really accurate.
Oh, well.
But hey, again, it was just a project I was having fun with, to see, me and my
But
dog.
did you just text it and invent it and that's it? Or did you give him a photo of the
I took
background?
picture of the dog, picture of me, which don't look anything like this. The dog is actually from the side, the picture I used, and I've got a shirt on and stuff on, and I
Mhm.
used that. You drop that into Nano Banana, and
But
then I gave it the prompt of what I wanted, and it made it in like, no time.
yeah, no, but my question is the background. Like, did you just say in Santa Barbara or did
I
you
said at
get a
Ledbetter
photo?
Beach, and I said at Ledbetter Beach,
Okay.
and that actually
Cool.
technically probably isn't Ledbetter, but it might be East Beach.
It's whatever photo it was able to find in its area
Yeah.
of
But
the area of something nearby. All
yep.
right. Well, hi everyone. How you doing? Hi Katie. Hi Cheryl. Hi Bob. Hi Rhett. And hi Ed. Although we're talking, so I assumed the hi had been said. Um, wow. As usual, I'm running in. I haven't checked yet. Has anyone signed up for the class that comes next? I haven't checked schedules at all. Let me see. I need to see if they're gonna happen. Producing a digital newsletter and producing a digital magazine. No, same numbers as before. So is anyone interested in those? Otherwise, they won't run. Which is basically continuing on this class. Like I move with everything we've taught and we begin to create a full-on project.
Signed
So
up
if
for
anyone,
one today. Like earlier or like this afternoon. It said like the end of March or the end of March, beginning of April. The Illustrator one? The Illustrator one.
no, Illustrator is same as this Monday, Wednesday. That starts March 23rd.
Mhm.
Um, in between this one and that one, Monday, Wednesday is when I'll be teaching the create compelling content.
Oh,
You
Um,
need some signatures.
for create compelling content, yeah,
Yeah,
look at
for
that.
either one of them.
Let me see, I have 11 people.
I'm interested in those.
Okay, so if so, guys, this is our last week. So this is the create compelling content. Um, but the ones I'm asking is that next week, Monday, what today is Monday and Wednesday, we have this class. But next Monday, Wednesday, this class is finished, and then I start with producing a digital newsletter. That one only has 5 people. Unless I get a lot more signatures, it's not going to happen. Uh, and that's basically a continuation of this. Like they and I really need to teach it to people who've taken these classes because normally I have people from Photoshop and from Illustrator joining, but I haven't taught Illustrator yet. It's scheduled for later, so the scheduling is a bit wrong. Because it's basically this. We create a project, like we actually put everything we're talking about together in an actual project, and we begin to really create a thing from A to Z where we go through all the process and everything it takes. Right now, I'm more teaching you the generalities of how to interact. So that's this one. And it's just 2 days, Monday, Wednesday. And then the next week, it's 2 days, Monday, Wednesday of this one. So they kind of follow one another. And it's next week and the following week. So if you can do Monday, Wednesday, 2 more days in a row, um, you know, 2 more weeks in a row, then I highly recommend doing this. Now, normally I have so many more students here that that's enough to plus people who generically write up, plus all these people, and I get a full class. But I only have 5 of you guys, and unless you all sign up, we'll still be at 10. I'll have to send an email to people and see. Then I might get up to 15. They might let it run. But if you guys can't take it, that's fine. Tell me no. But if you're going to take it, sign up because at this point we need it. Or they won't let it run, right? So here's here's one of the codes, and here's the other code. The only news is that it was on the schedule and in the magazine that people check. And for the last 3 weeks online, it only said Wake Center in person. So people don't sign up to it, but we've just been processing for the last year the permits to teach it online. So now that it's online, but it's news, no one knew that. So now I can teach it from school, but on Zoom. And if someone comes in person, they'll come in person, and the rest can be online. So it's a HyFlex class. But this wasn't there for the last 3 months when people have been signing up. This just showed up like 2 weeks ago. So that was always the concern with how hard it was to get these classes to fill, because I could only get people that I told them, hey, I'll still teach it online. But now that it's officially online, I need to let people know. So anyway, that's that. And then when those
What's
finish,
with the date on that?
is there something wrong on the dates? It's
You have the second one. Oh, there you go.
Monday,
The one
Wednesday.
down below online, 3/11. Okay,
Yeah, so
3/9,
it's 2 meetings.
3/11.
It's basically next week, Tuesday and Monday and Wednesday, and then the following week, Monday and Wednesday. So it's
Okay.
same as what we're meeting, Monday and Wednesday, but that week and then this week.
All
So
right.
that you want to go deeper into that, and then I follow up the project, and so it's all just basically continuing. So if you guys sign up, and say if all of you guys do take it, and I have 10 people, and then I get with an email, 5 others at 15, although they're supposed to run at 20, since they are kind of part of a whole set of classes that are part of a certificate. Hopefully they'll let it run. And then Illustrator comes after. When that one's done, then I start with Monday, Wednesday Illustrator, which as I said, is a little bit twisted around because I'd had Illustrator first. Then I'd have more people collected for these two. But I'm gonna write to the ones who are signed up and tell them, hey guys, this is happening, please sign up. And to a couple of the people in the past who wanted to take it when it didn't happen. Because I only teach it once a year. And then oh no, first, before Illustrator starts, 316 and 318 is 2 days, same schedule, Monday, Wednesday, and that's the create compelling content. And that's the one that has 11 people. So yeah, a few more people are needed to make it run. So those above, the above CRNs are for continuation of digital design techniques. This one is for create compelling content. All above are Monday and Wednesday, same schedule. And finally, at the same schedule, the last class is Illustrator, and that one is CRM. So there you go. And again, you don't have to sign up, but if you're going to, then just please do it. That way I can know how many more people I need to get. And And if you know how to sign up online, it's easy. Just add another CRN. If you don't know, you can ask me at the end of class. I can stay behind and help you, show you how to do it online so you don't have to do it in person. All right. Cool. Back to and not this. Back to
What about the Photoshop?
what's up? Oh, yeah. And then the other Photoshop for digital photographers, that one is
What about the,
what about the class? What was the question? I hear what about Photoshop? That's all I heard. It's the question.
right, I signed up for that.
Yeah, CRN for
I
Photoshop.
signed
That
up for
one is
that one, Diana.
Fridays. Okay, Rhett, you're in that one. Okay. So that one's Fridays. That one's different. That one's Fridays 9 to 1:45 p.m. And that one starts in a couple weeks too. Next March 13th. So that one is Friday. This one we're still running on. This is a Photoshop I'm still running. All right. And then again, for those of you who need to know how to use your Macs. Oh, and I have this one. This one I'm not even going to try much, but I've got so many classes going all at the same time because I'm leaving early. I'm leaving the session the season this whatever the what's it called
No, but it's on the,
early.
that's
So
what, because she's on it, it's cards
let
and
me.
donate,
I'm trying to mute you, but I can't
or
find
the
you.
insurance is. Oh.
Hold on, Ed. How do I mute you? There, mute. Perfect. I couldn't find you on the screen to mute you. So what I was going to say is that there's a YouTube class that's happening on Friday, I believe oh God, is that next week? All right, 2 weeks now. So if you're interested in that one, ask me more about it. I'll give you the CRN here, but I'd have to explain it to you. But it's basically also how to create it's marketing, right? Okay. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to stop this share. You can ask me more in detail about other classes. I have a ton, but right now. So hi Jinsu, thanks for joining us. I was just putting oh, you missed out on all these codes because, and I know that you do take these classes a lot. So let me, I don't know that I can put all those together and make one note because when people join, by the way, the chat all, yeah, so here they go. So I've just made one. Yeah. So those CRNs that you see there, the first two are for the digital classes that continue and then create compelling content and then Illustrator and then Photoshop. So anyway, but the top two are the ones that you guys should probably continue if you want to continue and learn more about what we're learning right now. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and hopefully you have Bridge open. Okay, before we start, let me share again the Padlet. Here we go. And I have oh, this is the wrong. I have all these different windows open. Here we go. Here's my Padlet with digital design techniques. And let me share my entire screen. All right. First of all, if this is what you guys posted quite a few things. So here's Cheryl putting her two photos. I wasn't clear if this was the JPEG and RAW or if it was just you added a filter and took out a filter. Cheryl, can you remind me? Can you explain to me?
So hold on. Oh, so the unfiltered one is the JPEG.
That came out. Okay.
And the other one is the raw.
The RAW. Okay.
And
So you did take it in. So, but
Sorry.
this is without having done anything, or you did
Yeah.
add the filter to it.
yeah, I did add a filter to it, but I was just playing around with it. So,
Okay.
but the one on the right is the original, like,
The original. Okay,
yeah.
great. So, and this is fine that you did some work with it. That's not the original point that I would like to compare. If you have a chance to post it now, is
Mhm.
if you still have the original raw. Because my point was the original JPEG and the original raw already from the same exact moment show up differently.
Oh,
That's the
gotcha.
point I wanted to make. And then, of course, we can keep post-processing and doing other stuff to it, which then makes it look even more different, of course. But my point was just the basic raw or a basic JPEG, when they have a lot of contrast, like this has a really intense light on the flowers, and then you end up with a different result, even before post-processing, which is what you processed it here, okay?
Yeah.
But anyway, great point. So if you see it somewhere and you can grab it and put it without interrupting too much your concentration on what we're doing today, please do it, or if not, do it later. I'd love to see two photos of the same exact moment in both versions here, see if we can see any differences. Cool. Thanks for that. And then here, Bob, you're not wrong. Grumbly, oh, there's a lot of words there, ways to do that. What a pain in the butt. And it's interesting because the computer made me approve it because they said there's a possible swear word or something like that in here, and I had to approve to let him post it.
Jesus. Oh man.
Um, anyway, but you're right. Yeah. When we're learning InDesign right now, it's not necessarily the easiest. It's the one that once you get past the hump of how to get the stuff from the start, then it gives you many more possibilities than a basic template that all you can do is drop in your stuff. But at first, yeah, it's going to take it's a steeper learning curve, right? Once you figure out how to do this and you understand it better, then it's not necessarily easier or harder. It just becomes more flexible. You can do whatever you want. That would
But
be the advantage. And some of you guys are fine with what you had and you don't need to do anything beyond what the template is. So maybe, and
Shoot, what I do.
who's talking in the background? Someone, Ed is muted, so it can't be. Does anyone have anyone talking in the background of their house? You have radio, TV. Do you hear it or is it just me? I hear some talking in the background.
yeah, I
But
heard.
Ed is muted, so I don't get who it can be. I thought it was Ed, but he's muted. So, okay.
Maybe it's coming from your place.
No, I'm alone in my studio. So, who else is here that I don't know? Everyone who's here is muted. I'm going to mute everyone. Let's see if it does silence everyone. I'm muting everyone. Yeah, it's been silenced. So I've muted everyone. So everyone one by one, unmute yourself to see where it's coming from because it's some interruption that's some weird connection is happening. So Katie, did you unmute yourself? Yeah. Cheryl, can you unmute yourself? Bob, Ed, Ray,
Muted.
yeah. Bob, Cheryl. Well, it's not happening anymore. So somehow. Well, Cheryl, you didn't unmute yourself, so maybe it was you? No, you're still muted. Can you unmute yourself, Cheryl? I don't know if you can hear me. Somehow it seems like Cheryl's not hearing me because she's not reacting. Oh, Cheryl said I lost my sound. Be right back. So maybe it was something weird happening with hers. Okay. All right. Cool. So what I was saying is that to your comment, by the way, great. Thanks for laying out how many pages is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, an 8-page basic booklet. And again, using InDesign isn't to make it easier. It's if what you want is something that's easier, what you've been using, Blurb or Lightroom or whatever. Again, I haven't looked into the book module of Lightroom, but yeah, where you have a template and you just drop in your photos and there's your book. That's definitely going to be easier. So I'm not going to say that you're wrong on that.
Well,
The
there's
reason
another.
you would use InDesign is if you want to step out of a template and be able to create whatever you want. But if what you want is a basic straight you know, something that's in a booklet, it is definitely easier to use one of those services. So I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise, right? Here, the idea is that you might have wanted to do something special, different, something that you wouldn't know how to do that then you have to learn how to do it, by hand, so to say. And that's this. Now you can create yourself a template that does what you want it to do. And then you just open up and each time you have a project, you just drop the photos in like you would, but you would create it yourself to your specifications. Does that make sense? So yeah,
Yeah,
there's a learning
but you
curve.
can do that in Bookright.
Yeah.
Bookright
If you
is it's a knockoff of InDesign.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
way easier.
There's lots of templates inside of InDesign as well. And if you were to let me open InDesign, you can go to find templates in InDesign and use them. Um, right? So you can do that too. And again, I'm not here to argue that one is better than another. I'm just saying you can use templates in InDesign or in, I think you called it Bookright or wherever you use it. And always a template is going to be easier than creating stuff from scratch. So if I just open InDesign and if I want to find some templates, right? Over here, I can find templates, for example, or I can go online and find a template of a book that I like and just import it into InDesign. But I could look in here and say 8 page, I don't know, coffee table book, but I don't even know that there's such a thing as an 8 page coffee table book. So, um, or portfolio book or something like that. Let's just say coffee table book, for example. So it goes online into the stock uh, services that are part of Adobe. And whenever it opens up, yeah. Here's one example of a template. And I don't know if there's others or whatever, but if I like this book, I can just download this one, or buy it, or use it as part of my free trial or whatever. There's bazillions of templates, right? You just explain everything, template you want. And then you open that in InDesign and then you create that book, right? Just like you did with all the other uh, tools that you've been using. Thing is, even if you don't want to create your own templates, you can go in and look online, not just from Adobe, but from any maker, any template until you find one that seems to work for you. And the issue with any template, and this is for anyone who's interested in templates, is that if you understand how they are built, you can edit that template and move around and make it your own. Versus if you can just pop the stuff in and the only sizes or options that they give you, then you can't change it. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do, to learn how to use the tools so that when they come up in a template, you can do it. And that's something that we'll explore a bit more in the next 2 classes where we have choices to create material from a template. And I'll show you how to handle a template versus modifying it yourself. Um, uh, have you ever used Canva, Bob?
No, no, no.
I've heard at the beginning, some of you guys raised your hands that you'd used Canva. I think Cheryl, you use it, right?
I,
Well, if you guys had said that, right? So basically, and Cheryl, you're still muted, so I can't hear you, but Katie, you'd used it. So there's nothing wrong with you can create with Canva. You can create some really good stuff. Again, the issue is only when you want to create something the way you want it to be, when you want to start from scratch and create something completely from zero. That's where you have to use the tools. It's like saying you can go in 20 bakeries until you find the bun that you like, or you can become a baker and make the bun that you prefer. But it's going to be harder to learn to be a good baker, right? That's all. That's the only difference. And so here we're learning how to become the person who can create that stuff. All right. So again, I don't disagree. There are easier ways to do this. And this is just showing you how to do it from scratch. All right. You can have, again, AI make a logo for you, or you can design the logo that you want to design. And then you'd have to know how to use Illustrator from scratch to create that logo yourself. And maybe your logo is going to be worse than the one that AI does for you, right? So it's a choice. Before AI didn't exist, you had to do it yourself or do it yourself. That was the only choice. But now you can have, you know, AI do it, and then you might not have to learn how to use Illustrator. Here's what Rhett posted, and Rhett, it's so tiny. I couldn't really read what you
That
post.
was focused though.
Um, so could you explain this one to me? Because I wanted to see what you'd posted, but I'm not sure I understand. So is it a 4-page booklet to start with? What's happening here?
Huh.
I can't get it any bigger than that. Rhett? Can you hear me, Rhett? Is everyone, are you frozen? Can you say hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
No?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Yeah, look, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is like a card I made, and I don't know why the why it's so small.
Yeah. Well, it was a
Um,
screenshot, so maybe you did a tiny screenshot or
but
any,
when I was making it, it was big looking,
okay.
8.5, or let's see, it was 4 by 8.
Yeah, but over here the all you're seeing is a screenshot. So basically
They
whatever
were all four by
size,
eight.
if what you had when you did a screenshot, you had it minimized, then it would be a spine tiny screen. Anyway, so this is supposed to be the front, the back, and the middle spread of your card. Is that what this is? And is this your design, one of your, and where did you make this piece of art?
Yeah, the front and the spread in the back.
And then where did you make this
Yeah,
piece of art? What did you use to make this piece of art?
Paint Shop Pro.
Okay. And see, I can't get much bigger, but that's because the moment I try to get bigger, it kind of
Paint
breaks down.
Shop Pro.
Okay, got it. Cool. It looks like you have
Paint Shop Pro.
like a twirl filter or something. Great. Thanks for posting that.
Huh.
We're having some issue with sound with both Cheryl and Bob and Rhett. I mean,
Couple of different filters.
okay. So Rhett, there's something going on with sound that it seems like we're talking and it's like you're in the moon and it comes back like 20 seconds later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyway, I got your message that it's something you did in Paint Shop Pro with filters and it was a card you designed. And that it came out tiny, you don't know why. But you
Huh.
said with help from Word. So did you import something from Word, like the text, for example? Did you do an import and a place?
Right.
Because one thing we haven't done, we've been importing, all we did in InDesign, we've imported an image, but we haven't yet imported text
Yes.
or
Yes,
logos. Yeah, so
I
he's
did.
saying yes to that. Okay. So if you guys
I
see
still,
under recent, do you see the last um piece of art that we did? And if you when you open InDesign under recent, hopefully that last one that we made should be there, where I was giving you the examples of bleed. And if so, let's open that one. If someone doesn't find it, we can just start from scratch. But if you see this one and you open it, that would be a good one to open to start with, because it was already a 4-page document. If you were able to open this one, give me a yes.
wait,
And if not, we can just create a new 4-page document of our own. But I think most of you guys had posted that you made this one, so you should have it there.
so wait a
Cheryl
minute. We
has
were
it,
we're
Bob
on
has it.
Bridge, right?
We're in InDesign.
Yeah. Oh, so
But you can, if you are in Bridge, you can find it in the files that we created, right? And open it from Bridge. So if this is my Digital Sign Techniques class, then here it is. I called it Bleed Example, and I would open it from there. But if you open InDesign, in InDesign, under the recents files, this would be the one that we worked with last week. So we can just click over there and it would also open it, right? So you can find it either under your InDesign recents or in Bridge, you can go find, I just don't know, we all called it something different. So this is the one that I called Bleed Example. And you can open it from there as well. Okay. Give me a yes if
but
you found it and you opened it.
I
And if
just don't have the little box on the top left or anything on the second
Yeah,
pages?
this is when I was showing you guys the inner.
Okay, and is it
Bleed.
also okay that I don't have anything on the other pages?
Yeah, that's fine. It's whatever.
Okay.
At this point, this was me demoing things, so
Okay,
it
sounds
doesn't
good.
really matter.
So
Um,
I'm
Okay.
untitled one and I got place, image, and resolution. That's it.
what, say
And
that again?
I've I've got three things on InDesign. 8-page, untitled one, place, image, and resolution.
Okay. Do you have a 4-page document somewhere? I mean, we can just start from zero again, guys. I was just trying to start with something. Since it might be that people have different ones, let's just close this one because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you we're going to go in a different direction today. So I'm going to let's close this one and start from scratch. Let's go ahead and say new file. Today we're going to run a bit through other applications. Let's go ahead and say new file in InDesign. And then we're going to go choose again, print. By the way, here's more, templates already of things that you could do and document presentations, lookbooks, photos, portfolios is what I meant by you can open any of these and start working with these and fill it in. And
Wait, how'd you get to that where you can see all the templates? I don't see that.
so not under recent because
Yeah, under
made the
print.
recent, but I went to print. And so
Oh,
under
weird.
print,
I don't have templates. But it says, you see how yours says find more templates on Adobe
yeah,
Stock? Mine says that, so maybe I just have to press go.
click on go, yeah, and then you go.
Okay.
But it's always showing me a few here. I don't know in particular why it wouldn't be showing you. Maybe you're on VDI. Yeah, I don't know that it makes a difference why you wouldn't be seeing one. But anyway, that's under print. If I go to web, it's showing me sample web pages. If I go to mobile, it's showing me possible sample, um, websites, things. We went to print. Okay, so under print, we're going to go ahead over here on the right side, and we're going to choose inches. And we're going to go ahead and choose an 8-page document. And this time, we're going to put some columns in here. So we're going to give it a 1 up. So we have 2 columns. So now we have a 1/2-inch margin that for now we're going to keep as a 1/2-inch margin. And we're going to add bleed. So we're going to click 1 time. So it's a 0.125-inch bleed. Okay. When you guys have this created, give me a yes or ask me if something's not working. And then if you have it created, just go ahead and say create. So 8.5 by 11. So basic letter size, 8 pages, and we're going to keep him standing up. So regular 2 columns.
I thought this was what we were supposed to. That's what I thought you said make an 8-page thing, a birthday card or something. That was supposedly what we were supposed to do, right?
Are you talking about homework?
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Yeah. But you did it I mean, I told you guys to create something and do a template, and you're the one who did it, Bob. Well, that's not true. Rhett did it too. He did it. He made it 4-page. I didn't particularly say 8-page or anything. That's the one that you did. Right now we're starting from scratch because I want to show you something new with text and stuff that I haven't really shown you. So if you have any questions about the one you created, I'm happy to answer, but we're making a new one and I'm going to show you stuff about, you'll see. Parent pages, there's a lot of stuff to show you to make things like what you did that seemed hard easier, where you create like a set of guidelines where you can just then keep them going down the whole
Margins?
pages. Margins will be the default ones of 1/2 inch. And then bleed, we're going to choose 0.125 inches. And it's the same all around because these are linked, so it doesn't, all four will give us the same number. All right, everyone's good with that? Let's say create. And here we go. The only difference that I haven't shown you before, we've made a document before, and this time we have a line in the middle. And that line is separating text that's going into two different pages. Now, here in Bridge, we have some text files, two different kinds of text files in this in the sample document that we've used. And one is a DOC, so it's not even a DOCX. DOC is a very old version of Word. Microsoft Word, and then RTF, rich text format, is text that is completely has very little formatting to it. Versus in Word, you could have a lot of formatting in it if someone had already formatted in document. RTFs will have very little formatting. It's two ways that you could bring in text. So say that someone's told you you need to design this thing and here's the text. They could either give you a very well formatted document or a disaster document or just like straight text. And then you format it yourself in InDesign, right? So those are ways that text can come in.
Beats me. There's no Word in
Bridge.
Yeah.
These are all the files. These are all the class files. And if you go down, they're called lorem ipsum lorem. So go to the L's. That's kind of
I see. Okay, I see one. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to. Okay, and so there should be something with a W beside that.
No, that's just the logo of Word, I guess, that Bridge is showing me that it's a Word file. But it doesn't have a preview because there's no image to it. So it's just showing me a little W logo. It doesn't matter. We haven't even brought it in yet. It's just showing you that these are two ways to bring in text. There's many ways to bring in text. So I added two different text files to our class files for us to work with. So we're going to, before we placed this image, it was an image we placed. Now we're going to see how it works to place some text. Okay.
It was just tough figuring out where that was.
Where they are, yeah. So right now we're still in an empty InDesign document that has no text.
So Diane, I'm having problems getting the letter.
What do you mean getting the letter? Size or who spoke? Rhett?
Yeah.
Getting the letter size document, or are you talking about what I just showed in Bridge?
Yeah, it's like I spoke, yes.
So
And yeah, because getting the letter size document, all I see is the three customs, and I can't go from over to print from recent. I'm sort of locked in. Can I share my screen? Hello? I'll share my screen. Looks like you're muted, Diane.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Why in the world would I've suddenly been muted? Something's happening that's weird in the sound. I've been
Okay.
talking and talking, going, Rhett, what's happening? You guys couldn't hear me. If you
Yes,
ever see
I
my
can hear
mouth
you.
moving, if you ever see my mouth moving and I'm not saying anything, just immediately let me know you can't hear me because I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can't hear you.
You can
Right.
hear me if I just said that, right?
Oh my
But if you
God.
saw me blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, 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 saying nothing, just speak up and say, we can't hear you. Because I was like getting frustrated, going, come on, do this, do this. All right. Can you hear me, Rhett? You said you were going to mute. Are you, Rhett, share? Are you going to share your screen? Do you need help with sharing?
I'm sorry. You want me to share my
So you have to click share and then share
share?
again the
I'll
second
share
time.
my screen.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So now go and open.
You got it?
Yeah. But are you still on, you're still on VD, well, you were still on VDI, right? No, no, you had your own applications. Because I don't see them open here. Where's your InDesign? Or were you still on VDI?
No, no, no.
You have them. Okay. So go ahead and open. Did you not open yet? Like InDesign, go in here and find it.
It's a little slow.
Okay, but I don't see it open here. If InDesign was open, I would be seeing the icon here.
Yeah, I did.
Huh. Well, I don't see anything open.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's open,
Yeah,
then
well, I mean, I'm seeing it
you're seeing it.
right
Okay.
here. I'm on InDesign, and then I got the new document, recent.
Well, that's not what's being shared.
Why aren't
Right
you
now,
seeing it?
all I'm seeing is your Zoom window. That's the only thing I'm
It's a
seeing. So
problem.
you need to, I don't even see here in the task manager, I don't even see.
Hmm.
You're in VDI. What you're sharing with me is VDI.
Yeah, I see what you see. Let
So
me just,
you need to change your share. I'm going to stop your screen. And when you say share, you need to then share the top left window, which is all your desktop, your entire desktop, and then say share. So the first share, and then go and choose your top left choice, all your desktop, and then share again. Because what I was seeing there was VDI and you didn't have the apps open. It was like,
I'm gonna get out of this. Okay,
try again.
okay. How weird. Share screen.
I'm still seeing your VDI
Okay.
window. And it looks like your Zoom is inside of VDI, so I'm not seeing.
Do you see now?
Yeah, but this still isn't. If you have, what I'm seeing right now is still your VDI window, which is
Huh.
never, is not going to give you.
So the way I got in,
Okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to,
okay, then I'm gonna X out of the VM video
okay.
and get into,
I don't, you're in VDI right now. What you're sharing is your VDI window. So if you have, you can hit your escape key, see if you can get out of this mode and show me your desktop. Otherwise, this isn't gonna work because none of this has InDesign on it. You had your own apps by now, so um here, I'm gonna stop your share and I want to continue, but first let me show you something. I'm gonna do a screenshot so I can show you what the share window looks like. Um, here. So I'm doing a screenshot suddenly. Give me a sec of the share window. That'll look something like this. Now I'm gonna have to open it as a file and share that with you. Give me a second because that gets complicated because it's not a let me see. And nope, it's always hard to share a screenshot of a window that isn't really happening, but here we go. Now, this is what you should be seeing when you click on the window share, like share window. You should be seeing a window similar to this. You're on a PC, so it's a bit different, but you're going to be given a choice over here to share your entire screen. Okay. Oh, he dropped out. He's not even in the class right now. He just joined again. Okay. Brett?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I guess I
That's so
totally
weird.
went out.
Yeah,
Just me.
and this connection is normal now. Now when you speak, I can hear you. Before, when you would speak, you were getting all laggy.
Okay.
So I don't know what was happening, but I was trying to share with you something
Okay,
and then you
here.
disappeared. But hold on. When you share next, you need to make sure to choose this thing that says entire screen. Like, don't show me internal screens. Share entire screen, and then I'll see
Right.
everything that's
Yeah.
happening on your
Oh.
computer. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you go ahead and try it again. And then if not, I'm going to continue with the class because I really need
Okay,
to.
screen, application, entire screen. Okay, sure.
Okay. Finally. Yep. I'm seeing. And there we go. Okay. So now I'm seeing your real computer. All right. First of all, you can close this. You can go up here to this window and close that. We don't need that anymore. Once you're here, you're here. Okay, and then minimize. Go over here to the right side and you can even close this. We don't even need this whole window. It's one less thing that.
Close it. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, good. So now let's go to InDesign down there. Yep, and open InDesign. Cool. And now
Okay.
don't pull it from there because you need more from the window. Pull it from here so that it moves up so that the whole thing moves up. Yeah. Okay, great. Now,
Okay.
when you are going to new file, click on new file.
Okay. New file.
Yeah.
Double click. New file.
Single click or new click. Is anything
Okay.
okay? So up here, you go to print up at the
I
top.
print.
Click on that.
I clicked on it.
All right. And nothing has changed for me at least.
Nothing changed.
So try again, print or web or mobile, try something. Because you don't have anything under recent, right? So it's not like recent's going to work. So go click on one of these. It should be shifting.
Yeah. Something. Anything.
Anything.
It's not working.
Okay.
It's weird.
Well, that's bizarre. So go ahead and say close down here. Go back and close this window.
Close.
Yeah. Is it
I put on close.
is laggy? Nothing's happening, or is it laggy for me, but it did close for you?
It didn't close.
All right. Poof. It's not responding. I don't know what to say. Go to bridge and until you close this, nothing will work. If you go to bridge and open one of the, well, that's minimizing all of InDesign. It's this window is the one that needs to close. If it's not responding, yeah, I don't know what to say. Ugh. I'm thinking it's because you're on Zoom and you have a slow connection or something. I don't want you to close that. Here under this window, you have the close this window, but you need to move this out of the way or you need to move that out of the way, but nothing's responding. You
That's interesting.
should be able to close that. Go ahead and say create, whatever it's making you make. Just say create. Just go here and say create. There's something it's trying to create. See if it can create that. Is it going to let you create or is it just frozen? Because we can always modify what you create, but it looks like it's frozen.
Yeah, looks like it's frozen.
Okay, so then go ahead and close it and open it up again. And when you get it to start working, I'll help
Close.
set one up. But right now, otherwise I'll just open. I need to keep going because otherwise we're not going to learn.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I start getting it's funny
Stressed
because
out.
usually when I have like 5 people, which rarely, I mean, I don't think I've ever had less than like 7 or 8 once, but most of the times I have 20 people. And I always think when I have 5, I'll be able to teach more. But you guys, for some reason, this has been really hard to teach much new stuff class. I don't know why. Technical issues, apps, things happening, not working. And so I'm sorry. I'm usually someone who by now you should know a lot more than you do know, but we'll get there. Okay. So here's my 8-page document. And if I go over here to the page icon, I can pull this down and here it is. Here are my 8 pages. This time they were created by default with a column setup. So we're going to learn and see when that matters or not. But if I scroll down, you see that it's considered like every single page it has 2 columns. So since we're here, let's go ahead and go to the different possible frames that we learned last week. Remember, we had the frame that we brought in an image from there. And what if instead we want to make a box with text here? One option would be to also bring in a frame and fill it with text, or I can go to the type tool.
I'm sorry to do this, but when you sort of casually mentioned the page, and I have no idea where you pulled that page thing out of on the right-hand side next to
Okay,
properties.
this guy. All right. So if you don't have this little
No,
double-headed,
I don't have that. No.
oh, you don't. Okay, so then go up to Window
Oh,
and choose Pages. Well, I know you. No, never mind. Did you
okay, I
find it?
got it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. So ideally, it's something that was still set up there from before. Somehow it could have been pulled
But
up from last.
it, but it doesn't exist on next to the. I mean, I've got the word properties where you have CC libraries. I've got the word pages there.
Okay, so at some point last time, I showed you how to, because I wanted to see pages and properties at the same time. So I taught you guys to grab this word pages and to put it here to separate it. And maybe you missed that portion or something, but there you go. That's how I got it to the side. So once again, I took it from here, put your mouse on the word pages, and then drag it here and don't drop until you see this little line of blue, not the big line of blue, but the little line of blue, and then let go. And then you can see properties here and pages here, and that's a better way. And
I
then
don't. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I also had you guys open layers. And again, if maybe you don't have the layers, I haven't even gotten to show you layers, but
No, no.
because right under the layers is the links, and I did show you links. Links is the one that we've been using. But when you open links, it comes with layers. So these are the 3 that we had placed before. If you don't have these, let me know. You don't have them either, Katie? So when we were looking at this last week, unless your settings didn't stick, because I've been showing you this for a while, meaning I'm not saying, oh, you don't have it. I'm wondering if it like the app reset itself, maybe it updated or
So
something.
do I go to Essentials and do
Yeah, so go ahead and go to Essentials and do Reset Essentials, but then see how they disappear again.
Yeah.
So that was a reset, and maybe we had to reset yours for some reason last reason, and then you read pages and just drag it in here, and that's where pages will
Wait a minute,
be.
wait a minute, wait a minute. So I've got rid of it, and what now?
Okay, so when you reset Essentials, right?
Yeah.
then the normal place it appears is, this is properties and this is pages.
Yeah.
So now go to pages and we're going to grab it with our mouse from the word pages and we're going to put it right here. So right here means I'm going to drag it and drop it when that becomes blue and boom, now there it is. And now you see the pages that turn opens and closes and then properties here and
Yeah.
pages there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh.
Now we also needed the links. So if you
Ugh.
don't see the links, because now we reset it, we need to go to Windows and open links.
Where's links? What?
Okay. So let me
Uh,
just,
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, open
and then
links.
what just happened is it created two little columns for me. I don't know why, instead of putting them underneath. So then I grabbed this guy and dragged it down like that so that I could have them all at once, so whatever. It's just, let me just, I'm going to reset essentials again, and you can set it up whichever way you want. But the best thing we could do is that I was trying to avoid more of this kind of work, but where's my links again here? I want these links to be here all in one column instead of two columns. It takes up more space. So I'm going to grab from this little line that holds the whole thing and pop that there. And now I'm down to just that whole line. Now, what would be nice would be to set yourself up with everything you need and then create your own workspace. I just have a couple more things that I would want to bring out. I would want to open up and bring,
Does it matter the order that if you have the links
no,
above the
no,
layer?
no, as long as you know where it is. I might show it in front, you might show it underneath there. I mean, it doesn't matter as long as they're here, doesn't
Got
matter,
it.
or then as long as you learn to know which one is which. So yeah, I want us to bring some tools for our type. So if we go down to type in tables,
Yeah.
you can pull out character.
So, yeah, okay, so
So
what do
go
you
up to
pull out?
window, go up to window.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you hover over type in tables, there's more under it. So this comes out because
Yeah.
it's not just one window, it's that. So if you just click on type in tables, nothing will happen. You have to go over and choose character. And so then this character box pops open somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you can just grab and put it in there. Again, character, grab it from the name and just drag it in there and put it in there. Just showing different ways to have things. And in reality, I would have preferred the paragraph. So here's my paragraph. So again, it's from types and tables. I'll bring paragraph. There's just so many things we can have in here. I'm just showing you a few ways to bring some things in. Type in tables. When in the next set of classes, the ones where we create a newsletter or whatever, I'm going to be working also with styles. And I mean, it's really cool, but I don't have the chance to go into so much in depth of all of this right now. So I'm just showing you a few ways that you can just choose things that you're interested in, and then just put them in here for you to use as starters. And then you can, by now, you've created enough difference from essentials that you can go up here and say new workspace and then call it, for example, Diana's workspace or digital design techniques workspace or class. You create, I need some light. So I'm going to call this one Spring DDT.
So you also did paragraphs, is that correct?
I did paragraph, but again, it's more like I'm just trying to show you that you can add different things. But yeah, I added characters and paragraphs.
Yeah, there.
Spring
Through
2026 DDT.
paragraph from type, you pulled down
Yeah, window,
type.
type in tables, and I chose paragraph.
Oh,
And then it also opened somewhat in the middle, like if I open, I don't know,
How'd you
story.
do the spring DDT thing again? Sorry.
Yeah, so let me delete that workspace so I can do it again. Okay, So let me delete that. Okay. So
Wow.
right now, we're going to assume that you've collected all the stuff you want. Then you go over here to Essentials. Hi, Moni. And you create a new workspace. One that isn't any of those, but it's based on what you're interested in seeing, right? And so you click New Workspace and you give it your own name. So I'm going to call this one Spring 2026 DDT, for example. You can call it My Workspace, Class Workspace, Bob's Workspace. I mean, whatever you want to call it, right? Or just Bob's or 1, 2, 3 and create different ones. So I'm going to say, okay. Whole point is that now if I go to Essentials, right, and I reset Essentials, this is what Reset Essentials was. If I go to Interactive PDF, that's what it is. But if I go to Spring, it shows at the top 2026 DDT, then it goes to what I just saved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You move around printing and proofing or, typography. Typography gives you every single choice, characters and paragraph and whatever. We just brought a couple of different ones. So you can switch to the ones that have the tools that you want. This that I just showed you here in InDesign, you can do in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. It's all the same. Like all three, you can just pull out the tools that you prefer to use and then create your own workspaces. But usually you don't get to know what you prefer to work with until you've worked a bit more into these. But anyway, that's good enough for now. Hi, Moni. Thanks for joining us. Just so you know, all we did here is we created an 8-page document with 2 columns
Oh.
and a regular 0.125 bleed. And then I segued into some other questions and answers. And that's where we're at. We just pulled out here some character and paragraph tools. I was showing how to create your own workspace.
Great, thank you.
All right. Cool. So has everyone created their own workspace?
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Okay, so I was saying that one way to bring in text was to import it, text that's already been created. But many times we're designing things without really having text that's written yet. Like we're just trying to sketch something for someone who wants to see what our 3-page brochure is going to look like or something like that. And we're just creating blocks of text and that we put something just called placeholder text. And in the world of design, we usually call that lorem ipsum text because there's a text from eons ago from Latin that was once picked up, and that's the text that got used as sample text that means nothing because most people don't speak Latin. So here, let me show you what it is. So I can either import that text from the 2 files that I show you that we have in the class files. I have some lorem ipsum text over there. Or we can just create a text box. So we're just going to the type tool, the T. And in InDesign, everything has to be held by a box. Remember how we had an image was held by the box that we made before? Now we're going to create a text box, and I can just create it in the middle of nowhere, or I can try to put it in between these margins of this first column. So this is the margins of the whole document, the whole page. But then I made a column. So that little bit there is the gutter, the space that divides the 2 columns. So I'm going to make a text box that encompasses this whole first column. So I'm going to put my mouse I chose my type tool, first of all. And then I'm going to put my mouse where it clicks onto this edge of the margin. And I'm going to drag it down. And I'm going to stop right here and let go. You might not see much, but there's a cursor there. Let me undo that. Had I made it right here, you would see a box, right? The fact that I made it match the margins means that you don't see it, but let me make one right here. See how there's a box after I start drawing? I'm doing Command Z to undo each time. Command Z. So maybe you want to do that, do Command Z and just get a feel for what this box that we're making looks like. So drag your mouse out and there's a text box that if I start writing, text will appear in it, right? So I'm going to do Command Z. And now that you have a feel for what it's like to drag one now, I'm going to have you guys put your mouse at the edge of there and drag it to here. And since it coincides with those guidelines, we don't see the box, but there's the cursor for us to write in. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and we can do a right click if you like to do right click, or we can go up to type and find at the very bottom of the type tool, fill with placeholder text. Fill with placeholder text. And we're going to just click on that. And lo behold, boom, there's a bunch of text written in Latin. And everything else calls it lorem ipsum text. Now they're calling it placeholder text, but it's basically Latin. Now, what I got will be different than what you got, because each time that you lay it out, you're going to have a different layout of text, okay? So it's not going to look just like mine. But it'll probably be text that comes out in Minion Pro regular 12 points, right? That's kind of the default set of text. Give me a yes, a nod, that all is good if you were able to drop some text in there. If you didn't, or if you're stuck or something's not working, let me know. Rhett, were you able to make InDesign work? It's working now? Okay. All right. So we're done putting text. We're going to do more text, but right now let's assume we're done putting text. So we're going to go and leave the text tool, the type tool, I call it text or type tool, and go back to the black arrow tool, which is kind of like my basic home hand. It's the one I use if nothing else is happening. And the moment you select that tool, that box now, that was a text box, begins to have the same markers that the bounding box had. The bounding box where we had brought in a piece of art or photo or whatever last week, right? So if I were to grab from the middle and drag out, it turns out this is a box that can be moved around, just like photos were moved around or something like that, right? And it has those same elements of that bounding box or those placeholders, things that we had yesterday. And then I can just go and snap it back into place to where it belongs. Okay. So basically I just put my mouse in the middle and drag out, and that's all that needs to happen. And then I plug in again. Now, there's something I haven't really shown you, all these what all these boxes did last week with our photos, but I'm gonna bring in some images in a minute. For now, we're just gonna work a little bit with this text. First of all, if this text is selected, okay, so click away. I don't see any boxes on it, right? If I hit the W key, then all the lines disappear. The W key was when we went into presentation mode, right? Where you see what it's going to look like when this is printed. So it's like the final. So the margins, the gutter, the bleed, it all disappears. And this is what we've designed, so to say. And hit the W key again, then all the boxes come in. Now, if I'm selecting the box when I hit the W, then I still do have the selection around the box that I'm selecting, right? Because I was selecting it. But if I click away and the deselection goes away, then I don't see anything there again. So now I'm going to hit the W key again. We want to have the boxes and everything as we're laying things out. Let's select that box of text again. What can we do with this text? Well, over here on the right side, we already see the type tools, the character tools, the paragraph tools that are appearing here. Because, whoops, I didn't mean to change my text yet. Because they showed up, because I'm in a type box. I'm in a placeholder that's a text placeholder box. That said, since we put this stuff in here, we could go over here for character and paragraph. But we had it down here because we're in one of those boxes. When I click away, and now I'm done clicking away. I'm in some neutral area. I'm not in a text box. See how all those disappeared from my properties panel, right? But I still have them here. Problem is that having them here doesn't help because nothing's going to change if I don't have that box selected. If I were to change my font here to something else, not going to change because the font isn't selected. So you need to have your box of fonts selected for anything to change. I'm going to change it from here only because I think when it's hiding down there, it's harder for me to show you, but it's the exact same box. You see that? So I'm going to go over here and instead of Minion Pro, regular 12 points, I'm going to go ahead and make this a much bigger font size. So instead of 12 points, I'm going to click in this arrow and choose, I don't know, 30 points. So it got pretty big, right? Now I didn't have to select text. I had to select the placeholder box that holds the text for that to change. Does that make sense? But where did the rest of the text go? Okay, so did everyone make their font much bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, before we even begin to work with any other text, I want to know what happened to the rest of the text because I know there was a lot more in there and it disappeared. It didn't like reflow into something else. And what's happening is that all we gave this document is one text box. So it's basically now, if I look down here at my pre-flight document, now my document is telling me that there's one error. And if I look here to the bottom of that text box, I'm seeing that there's this little tiny red box with a little tiny plus sign. Y'all see that one?
Mhm.
And even if I were to make this bigger for you guys to see better, it doesn't matter because that little red box is always really red tiny box. It doesn't grow any bigger when I make it closer. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's always small. All right. Another place where I could have chosen to make the font bigger or smaller, of course, in our contextual box. So I could have gone over here to make this be, 24 points or 26 points or 30 or whatever I made. So we made it 30. So now all the rest of that text, so make sure that you have your selection tool on, that you've shifted from the type tool back to your selection tool. So all the rest of that text, my error here is telling me that there's overset text. There's more text than what's in this box. And it's important that the error told me that and this told me that because if this is text that came from a client and you don't know what it's supposed to say, maybe you're working for a client who gave you something in Russian or whatever, and if you don't speak Russian, how do you know that the text is there? This marker of that plus sign and this error is telling me there's more to go, more text, right? So I'm going to put my mouse, the tip of my mouse, and this one for some people is easy, for some people is complicated, the very tip of your mouse in the center of the plus sign of that little red box. So not around it, literally just in it, and then give a little click. So now I have picked up the rest of the text. So it's like, oh, here's all that extra text. Notice that my red little box is gone. Look over here, it says no errors. And on my mouse, I am carrying the rest of that text. Got it?
Yeah.
And now it's saying, okay, where do you want to put the rest of that text? We're going to be boring and just put it in the column right next to it. And I'm going to do that by, and again, kind of like we did before when we were carrying an image, I could just click and drag and place it right there. But that's not all of it, so I still have a box. I'm going to Command Z. Or I can try my best to fit it into the next column. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click and drag all the way down to the bottom. And when I reach the bottom, let go. And now I have two columns. And guess what? Am I done with my text?
Nope.
Nope. There's still an error and there's still an overset text box there because I made the font so much bigger that it's still going. So I'm going to pick up that text again. And then just to keep it for this example easier to see, instead of going to the next page, I'm going to just go ahead and drag another little box in here of whatever size to drop whatever's left. And it looks like we have even more. So this time I'm going to see if I make it wider and bigger and see if I manage to get, because we went, see if I managed to get all of it. Nope, there's still more. All right, go ahead, and I don't care that we have still more right now. I'm going to just leave it there. I just thought maybe we were near. And now let's click away. Click away, meaning none of the boxes are actually selected anymore.
do you want us to do that or?
Yep. Yeah. I want you guys to do that. I want you to put 2 good columns and then make another box
All right.
and drop some. It's not all of it, but it's some of it. Now, what's up here is that if I want to change this font size so that I can see the rest of it, like it grew way beyond what I wanted. I'm gonna have to select all of this text, but this text is in different boxes, so watch. If I select just this box, sorry, the middle box. Let's select the middle box. Okay, select the middle of 3. Just for this example, not because I want normally to change the font of a bit of text willy-nilly, but watch. We're going to select that box. We're going to head over here to the fill. Okay, let me mark it to the fill. Okay, so we have selected this box. We're going over to the fill. We click on the fill, and now we're given the choices of adding color, either to the frame. Okay, watch what happens if I add this right now. I'm going to make this pink. Did that make my text pink? Nope. That made my frame pink, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted pink text. So I'm going to Command Z, and I'm going to click on frame, and then I'm going to choose to put that color on the text. Apply to text. Really? Okay. Hey, each one of the applications has its different version of how to do this. And this is in Illustrator. You just do the box. And it looks like in InDesign, they're going to want me to choose the text. Okay, so I'm going to go with the type tool. And I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. I was trying to show you something else, but never mind. Let's move into this following thing. Let's go get the type tool and let's click and drag and select the text that is in this middle box. In Illustrator and in Photoshop, you can just select the box. And in InDesign, you have to select the actual text for a second. Then go to fill. Then it says text, and let's make it in bright pink text. Now, the reason I don't like to do this when it's selected is because when you select something and choose a color, see how it's not showing me pink? It's a matter of me knowing that I chose pink, but while it's selected, it goes different, but never mind. I have chosen pink text. The text over here, I see a big pink T. So now let's go and leave the type tool and go back to the selection tool. And there we go. Now we have pink text. If you have pink text and if that worked for you, and I'll show you the point, why I'm doing this in a minute, then give me a yes. So your middle box of text has pink text. Is that working, Katie and Rhett? Moni? Okay, let me clear your answers. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and decide that I want to make this box smaller. So the middle box, I need it to be smaller because I'm going to put a photo here. So watch what's going to happen. Again, the middle box, the one that I just made pink, I'm going to go and select it, and then I'm going to grab it from one of those handles, and I'm going to make it about yay big. Where did that text go? It reflowed because this is connected, this one is connected to that, and now it's connected to that. So it reflowed into that third box. Does that make sense?
Except it didn't.
Okay, so you made this one smaller and it didn't reflow?
Nope.
You have the third box?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't make a third box.
Well, I tried to make a third box, but it just grabbed the stuff from the second box and put it on the side.
Okay, so let me undo this for a minute. The way we made this box wasn't any old willy-nilly box. We picked it up from this little
Yeah.
guy right there. And then we made a new box, right? So this is following that. If this said, and then the day was sunny, it basically is continuing. It happens to be in a language that makes no sense, but this is continuing with that sense. And there's something I'm going to turn on for you guys to see what's happening. But if this didn't work and you need a hand with this, then you can share your screen. Do you want to try it again, or do you want to share your screen?
I don't care. I'll just grab it from the bottom but it does. It pulls the same thing.
Okay,
It
why
does
don't
exactly the same thing.
you? So then let's share your screen to see what's happening. Okay, so now let me get my tool here to point to it. If you click on that little guy right there, put your mouse in the center of that. Okay, good. Now you picked up text. Now just draw that box and put it over here because you're bringing in your mouse. No, hold on. Yeah. Okay, there you go. And let go.
But
So, okay. What tool are you using? There we go. So this that you just made, right, is a
yeah.
continuation. So now grab this, go back to select this box, the pink one.
Oh yeah.
Go back to
I
select the
can't
pink
see it
one.
because
Yeah,
you're I can't even see where your green circle thing is.
I didn't.
Assuming
That little
I'm
green
assuming,
circle is where you picked it up before. It's gone now because you've already picked it up,
okay,
right?
yeah, so now it's over
And there's
here.
another one there, yeah. And I don't want you to pick up more new one. I want you to go and select this box just by clicking anywhere on that box. Okay, good. And now that has little handles on the three sides, all over all the sides. So let's grab this little one, the middle one,
And pull it up.
and just pull it up. And all that stuff has somewhere to go. So it continued in there. Okay.
Okay.
So that continued into that. And thus it pushed even more stuff out of the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now we can grab this, select this box and make this one smaller, but from the top. You know how when you put a little headline, so click on this box, click first. You need to click on it to select it because it's not yet selected. And then make it smaller. Okay, and then let go. And now some of this flowed into that. Does that make sense? These guys, this flowed into that, and this one flows into that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense for everyone, you guys? They are connected. Okay. Now there's something I want you to turn on. Go up to view over here at the top. Hold on, I need to get my view. Go up to view. Yeah. Everyone, go up to view. Go to extras. Go down to extras, yeah. And then say show text threads. The second one. Yeah. And now let me get rid of all my drawings so that it's cleaner. And can you see now that now there's an arrow? And this one's harder to see, but there's an arrow going from here to here and an arrow going from here to here. So this is where we picked up the text and it's continuing there. And here we picks up the text and it's continuing there. Can you see that? So it's showing you the thread of how the text is going in from one to the other.
So why are they out of alignment, Mike,
What's that?
why are they like 20 degrees off to the right? I mean, why are they this way.
I'm not sure what you mean by 20
Do you
degrees
mean
off.
like slanted kind of?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, so grab this box, grab this one, and drag it over to the left, and you'll see how it's like it'll just click on this and move it over to the left. To the right, sorry, to the right. Move it to the right.
To the right.
Move it over that way. Yeah. Just grab it and move it over. So it's following that little box where you pick up the text from, which is right there, is following this box. So if you move this down or up or whatever, you'll see this is like a little string of a spider web. It just kind of connects that box to that box, no matter what.
Weird. Huh. Okay.
I'm going to stop your share and I'm going to share
Okay,
this
thanks.
myself. I'm going to share my screen now. So I had to redo this for a second because I hadn't done it, but let me select this text and make it pink again. Okay, and then I need to go and say view extras, show text threads. Okay, so now basically if I make this one smaller, move it out of its box, move this one over, make it bigger, whatever, no matter what I do, the text is going to flow, right? From one to the other. So I could have written a whole story. And this is your typical, this is page 1, right? The article starts over here and then it continues in the second column, right? And then I have a photo, a big headline here, and then I put in insert a photo in there. And then here I would have to say continues on page 25, right? So this could be on page 25 or page 5 or page whatever. And see how that keeps following along. Does that make sense? Wherever
Yeah.
you put it, that is going to continue. I'm going to put it just a little bit under so you guys can see that. But, and I'm going to make that fit into one of the margin sizes or one of the columns, right? So that's my continuing of the story. And then I can just go grab and pick what's left from there and then put that in here. And I now have more text, right? And basically, no matter what I do, they're all connected. If I decide, no, I want to start this title a little bit higher, I'm going to do that. And then that flows into that. And then this one flows into that. Can you guys see what's happening? No matter what you do, the text flows from one box into another. And again, this could be continued on page 50 and it would still be connected. So these threads are what's telling us what's connected. If that makes sense, if it's working for you, if you see what I'm showing you, then
Yeah.
let me
I
know.
had to do a catalog. It was Spanish and English, and it was a total nightmare. That was through the thing called BookWrite.
Okay.
It was sort of like changing the line spacing, totally
Yeah.
messed everything up as it, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. 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 And by the way, I'm from Argentina and thus I speak Spanish really well. And I worked during my high school. I was an interpreter, high school and college. I was an interpreter translator, and I've worked on so many bilingual projects. And man, trying to make something that's from English to Spanish. Spanish is
Oh,
more wordy. Spanish says, 50 words for what an English says in 35 words, right? So trying to make two pages fit, it's a mess. But yeah, there you go. This is a little example of if this were a 20-page document and it's saying go to the final, page 25 or whatever to see the continuation of the story. There you go. That's where it continues, right? And most importantly, what if you send this to your client and the client goes, oh, that's great, except for now I've decided that I want to say it this way. And suddenly they take away 2 paragraphs of work and you go like, uh-huh, you would have to redesign everything, right? Put that here. Can you imagine if and this is the thing. Say that someone says, "No, let's take this whole sentence out," right? For some reason. They go, "Oh, let's replace it with this other sentence." And you delete that sentence. If this were stiff, you would have to go from down there from the second page, bring another sentence to replace it. It would be a mess. But now I can just delete this and it all redrew. It came in from that page 50 or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just all kind of flows so that you don't have to worry about, and then at some point you go to the page 50, right? And in page 50 you go, okay, now it looks like it got shorter than I wanted to. Now I'm just going to have to put someone's ad in here, or I'll put a little design because someone just cut 2 paragraphs off of my story up front. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
it all, or worst case scenario, someone says, here, I want you to add these 10 more lines, and you have to add 10 more lines at the beginning, but the design can stay the same. You just need to somehow make sure that you have a bit more space here in the bottom for it, or then you, whatever. Does that make sense, you guys? The whole way text is connected? All good? This in InDesign, let me just move up to, let me just move these things up to the second page so it's a bit easier to see.
Diana,
Yep.
are those threads automatic, or do they only happen because you've turned them on?
Nope, the viewing of the threads I had to turn on because when you're not when you're learning, but if I say hide text threads now, then I don't see the threads, but the whatever is happening still happens. It's automatic that if you picked up the text, remember, I didn't put one piece of text here and one piece of text there, then they're totally disconnected. I actually picked up, see here, I still have missing text. If I pick up the text and that text comes from that box and I lay out now another box, this time I'm going to lay this box across both. So remember, that's the key. It's not new text. It picked it up from there. And now I drag it across these 2 columns because I want to then put a double photo here. Then that is continuing with this, okay? So now if I somehow decide to get rid of all this text because the editor said, oh, I don't want that, and I just hit delete, then this filled in, and you can't really tell that it filled in because it's the same color. Let me just give it another color. I'm going to call this green or blue, whatever, right? So now if I decide I'm going to get rid of this because, you know, the editor came and said, that's nonsense, delete that, I delete that. So then the rest flows in, okay? And that is automatic, even if I'm not seeing the text threads. But while you're learning to trust it or to believe it, if you say show view text threads, then you'll see them. And then it's a bit easier to remember what goes where. Does that make sense? But it's automatic. It still happens. Now, it's not new text. If I make a new text box, if I go to my type tool, make a new text box, and I say fill with placeholder text, or I bring in text from a document that, you know, that another document, and I put new, that is a new text box. And right now it came in with a different size or whatever, but these are not flowing into those. This one is complete in of itself. And that little guy right there shows me that there's more text left in there that I can still pick up and bring. Does that make sense? And then that will still flow with that, but this is not connected to those because it's new text.
Still not done.
Hmm?
Still going on.
Yeah, because that's why at the beginning, 12-point text versus 30 is much bigger. And that's why I made you guys do that example so that you could have a lot of text to play this around. Now I actually, no matter now, let me see, I made 2 more pages of this. Let me make this one. I finally made it big enough that there's finally no more text. And you can see over here, there's no more plus sign, right? It's
Yeah.
done. There's no plus sign there. There's no more text. Okay. And not only that, but remember that, whoops, let me go smaller, is that it says no errors versus when there was still more text to go, it kept saying that there was an error. Okay. Let me move that there. There's still an error. There it is. There's still one error because there's still text to go. If you see that little plus sign, there's still text to go. Okay. Moni, your hand's been patiently up. What's up?
So I have a question regarding, so you've done your layout.
Let me stop you for 1 second,
Yeah.
Moni. While she's asking the question, if you guys are done, I mean, if this is working for you, please get a little screenshot. Let's save this file, call it, you know, play with text or text learn type But then let's go into the screenshot. So let me give you guys the link so that you guys can be doing that as I start peeking with people. So here's the card and here we are. Okay, so yes, Moni.
So my question is, I have my booklet laid out, and I have I'm doing an article on the headliner of the jazz festival, and it's going to be at least 2 pages with photos. So of course, you have all the different boxes that you have to thread.
Okay.
My question is, I asked somebody to do some wordsmithing and edit the bio because it's just too long.
Mhm.
And so she said, well, I need to know a word count or a character count. And so
Yeah.
I filled it with Laura Ipson,
Yeah.
but I don't know that that gives the right information.
Yeah, so say that you want to know how many characters you have. Say that you've pre-designed. See, this is the thing. Many times you have set boxes, right? Where text has to go because then after that something else is coming up or page 5%. So if you want to know how much text, in this case, if I go ahead and select, for example, all of that, say that's from here to here is where I need an article about yay long, right? There's a place, woof, sorry. Let me select that again. From here to here is the text that you need. I believe over here under story. Nope. One of these, there's so many different types, tells you the amount of characters. Change character styles, character. Oh, that's my thing to give you guys an alarm. Where is the count? Word count. I thought it was under story, but it's not. One of these is word count. Okay, it'd be under layout. Where's my word count?
Yeah, I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, no, there's a place for word count and somehow wow. I'm trying to remember where word count is. View extras, word count? No.
So I did a
Story
search
editor.
on help and it didn't come up.
Story editor. Um, now I gotta find it. Let me um and design how find word count. I'm drawing a blank. The info panel, choose window info to open it. Select the frame and it'll tell you. Okay. So let's go to window info. There you go. All right, so now select a frame with your type, select your text and oh, characters 1365, words 218.
But is that only in that one, or is it in the whole threaded document?
Oh, well,
Because that's what I need to know is from, through all of the boxes that are threaded, how
yeah.
many.
Well, you would have to make sure you have all your text. So here we go. You have all the text you can have.
Yeah.
Then you select your entire text, click, drag all the way across. When it's threaded, it works because see how that one's not being selected? And then that will be 335 words.
Okay, so show me again, where did you find that?
Okay, go to window,
Window
info.
info. Gosh, I would not have found that.
Yeah, I had forgotten. I haven't had to use word count for a while, but see, I just Googled it, like I know that
All right.
count, and so
Okay.
there's the info.
Window
And
info.
you select the box, it's telling you where is it in the X and Y, what's the size of it in width, and then it's like, okay, I want Word. So you go to type tool and select your text. And the whole point is that if you select it, if you have gone all the way to the end where there's no more text, and as you can see, the selection continues, then you wait for a minute, it counts, and it'll come up with the word.
Okay.
135 is your word
I'm
count.
trying it right now, but
Do you want to share your screen? We can see it, or
you're gonna laugh.
No, I'd like to see your document. If
Okay.
you want.
I'll have to change it so you can see it, but here we go. All right, so let me go in here. So this was
Okay.
so I made it blue so that I knew that that was not real.
Okay.
And I moved it to the side because I was trying some other things. So if I go in and I highlight it, whoops, I highlighted all.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could just do control there.
Control A, yeah.
And then info. Oh, see, it doesn't give me anything.
No, give it a second.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Okay.
642 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I came up with. So that's all right. Well, that's good so that's what I would tell the person. Okay, so this many characters, this many words.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And it's not always perfect. You might need to make the font a tiny bit bigger, a tiny bit smaller, extend it a bit, to fit exactly. But
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to keep all my fonts the same size.
Yeah.
all my article parts the same. So
Now what she just showed, she had a grid overlaying the background and stuff like that. So if it looked confusing to you, it's just because she's working with the grid, which is something she learned. In my sorry.
in your very many classes.
The ones that I
Are
told
you
you.
choking, or we need to get help?
You're fine. The classes that come after this, the producing a digital newsletter or whatever, where I get into much more layout and a whole product, we worked in a whole grid and stuff pattern. No, it's just that on these days when I run from teaching one class to the other, I haven't had a chance to eat since breakfast. I had a small 2 eggs. That's all I've had all day. So I just grabbed while she was talking. I figured I can take a bite of a bar. Anyway, I was choking on it. Okay.
Isn't it time for a break anyway?
That's true. My alarm went off twice and I was talking to you guys and I didn't finish it. So it's time for a break. Thank you. Let's look at what time is it? 6:44. So if it were 6:45, that means 7, right? So it turned into 6:45 as I was speaking. So be back at 7 p.m. Cool. See you guys in 15. All right. Come on back. Come on back.
While we're waiting,
Yeah.
is there a fast way to make a grid? So I don't know if I'm doing this more difficult than it can. I'm doing the schedule for the day. Can I just show you what I did really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's it's not finished, obviously. Okay, so let me move this out of the way so I can see. So I'm trying to get them to fill up the space because I did something different last year, but we have 2 less bands, so the spacing isn't working. So these are all different boxes. So my question is there
Wow.
a faster way?
You made every one of these as an individual little box that you made?
Yes,
Yikes.
I know.
Yeah.
So I mean this part right here is I've gotten it pretty even just by using the aligns and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not worried about the text part yet.
Can you just create a table?
A table, so you can actually put a table in.
Yeah, so go up,
Oh,
go to
table.
another, there it is, table, create table. Yeah, there it is. Say create table.
See, I knew I was
Choose how
doing it.
many columns and rows you
Okay.
want to have. Go ahead and say okay to that, like as if that's good.
Okay.
Say okay, and then it'll be at your fingertips. So go and drag it somewhere.
Can I do it on the side?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so much grid if you'll see it, but yeah.
Okay,
Put it on top of the blue there on the left side so you can see it appear, or
yeah.
and it'll be for, since you asked for 4 and 4,
Oh.
it's probably going under, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and undo that. Go ahead and go ahead and open a new file just to test this. Say file new. So everyone pay attention if you ever want to make a table. Just say whatever, yeah. And now
Okay.
just go up to table, create table, and it's 4 columns, 4. It'll be as big as you drag it, right? So you can make a tiny table or a big table. Just click and
Okay.
drag, and there it is. Well,
Okay.
you asked for 4 columns, 4 rows,
Yeah.
so that's how big it is. But if you had made it, go ahead and do undo, Command Z, and now drag it again with that same choice, and now make a little like small one and let go. See, it
Yeah.
just adapts to whatever it says. But now,
Okay,
if
so
you
I
wanna
knew I
say
was doing
there-
it.
But now, if
hard
you
way.
that you're in the type tool, but if you leave and you go into the selection tool and now select it, now
Mhm.
you can make it bigger or smaller. You know.
Yep.
Well, no, you have to do like we do with art. Like you can control, is it Shift Command,
I think so.
and drag it, and then it'll
Oops. No.
no. Then you might need, once it's laid out, then the only way to
Yeah.
do it is to add.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to go back to the
Okay.
tape.
All right. Well, that's definitely a lot easier than what I was doing.
Yeah.
I
And
knew I
then
was.
you give it more stroke, a thicker stroke or a tinier
Yeah.
stroke or whatever to make it fatter or thinner or whatever. You stroke it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Otherwise, worst case scenario, if you're going to do it the way you're doing it, at least do lines.
Yeah, I
one
started
way or
to
the
do that.
other
Yeah.
with
And
strokes, right?
I
So you make your
yeah,
own size.
I did. I mean, then here I did all different things, testing it out, and I didn't. So the table is much better.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. You know, it's, you can also go in and choose different kinds of tables and headers, but
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that.
probably the better way. It's probably, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I'm able to make it bigger and smaller holding down the Command Shift. So you weren't able to do that, but if you hold the corner, Command Shift first and then hold the corner, just like a photo, you should be able to make it refit into whatever size you're making. Okay, here, I'm going to share my screen anyway, so let me show you what I mean. So here's the table that I made, and as long as I hold the Command Shift and and hold the corner, then I can make those same be tiny or big. You know what I mean? Like I can modify. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm going to delete it.
Sorry, I had
All right.
I was muted.
No, that's fine.
Yes, now it's working for me.
Okay,
So
good.
thank you.
Good. All right. Since this info window is floating, and in case it's something I'd be interested, I'm going to just grab it and just knock it in there again, in case I need. I use the info window in Photoshop. I don't usually use it so much in InDesign, but I forgot that that's where you saw the word count. I haven't been needing to do a word count for a while, so that wasn't something I remembered. But there you go. Good old Google. Okay, so I didn't check, but hopefully people put stuff here in the Padlet. And if you didn't put it yet, then remember to do it later. But yeah, there we go. I see you guys putting your threaded out art and stuff like that. Okay, great. Yes, Ed, what's your question?
I got two questions. One is if I create a box, okay, a frame, and I fill it with text,
Mm-hmm.
is what it shows in the original fill the entire set of text, or or do I assume that it's a lot bigger than that?
I'm not sure this is what you're asking, but let me see. That's text that we did with placeholder text. Say that I create a box. Right now I'm going to cross over both of the columns. So I'm making a text box that's as big as 2 columns. What if instead of doing the placeholder text, I say place, right? And I go and I open from our files. Where did I have it? In the downloads? Where?
I actually figured out the answer while we're doing this, but it's okay.
All right. Well, but I think you're asking, I need to figure out.
I got confused when when we filled the original box at 12 point, and then you made it 30 point. It was that's why it got bigger, not because of the initial fill. It was the same amount that got filled in originally.
Yeah, I see what you mean for your question. Yeah, that's.
Okay. The other question I had was,
But let me explain to everyone else 1 second. Let me just explain the result to your question. The reason suddenly the box that was holding a bunch of text suddenly didn't fit is because I made the font so much bigger. And so that's why it became overset text, right? Because all that text couldn't fit in the same size box. And so he was wondering, how do you tell that there's more text? Well, first of all, by that little plus sign there, telling you there's overset text, and then no errors. And then, yeah, it's because you changed the font and size and you needed it more. So yeah. What was the next question?
So the other question I had is, when we're doing things with photography and stuff, we're always looking at very specific dimensions, 8.5 by 11, 5 by 7, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't see anywhere where when I put a frame in here that I can say, give me a 5 by 7 frame. Everything seems to be hands-on.
No, on transform. So say that, good point, good question. Say that I grab this box to make a frame. Remember, guys, the frame box, the one that has the X, which is where we can then bring in information. Say that I wanted a specific size. All I need to do, I can either remodel it after I've made it, or I can just simply click, right? Instead of click and drag, and then I make it the size I want. If I wanted to be 5 by 7, and I say, okay, then there it is. It's perfectly 5 by 7, right?
Great, thank you.
But say that I also made a thing like that and said, oh, I wanted that to be 5 by 7. I can go over here to the transform where it says width and height, and I can just say that was supposed to be 7 and by 5, and then I hit return, and boom, it turned into 5 by 7. So you can be very precise, okay? Either from the start, just because you click instead of click and drag, or if you clicked and dragged about the right size and it's not perfect, then you go over here and you type in the numbers right there. Did everyone try that out? Go ahead and let's do that. Let's make a 5 by 7 box, which we're about to use. I'm saying that because we're about to use something like this right now. So go ahead and make a box, go to some empty page like this and make a box, and let's make it be 5 by 7. So go to the frame tool right there and either click and make it 7 by 5 or 5 by 7 to start with, or click and drag to whatever size and then correct it by going right here where it gives you the transform width and height, and then put the right numbers in there. So I'm going to say 7 by 5 this time, and I'm going to hit return, and there it becomes 7 by 5. Okay. And then over here, if you got it the wrong position or size, you can just flip it, or you can rotate it, or you can do whatever. But right now, we're not necessarily just saying that all those things are available to you to do too. Okay, did everyone make a box that's exactly the size that you want? Bob, you're good? Brett, you're good?
Yep.
All right. So this is a 7 by 5 box, and we want to put some art in there. And this is the part that I was hoping to get to today. How do we know which of all these photos that we brought? And I'm going to go back to Bridge now. These are photos that we have. How do we know which one might be 5 by 7 or 7 by 5? Or do we need to force it or lose some part? Remember how I said we were going to figure out in Photoshop how to go in and right size a place? And when I say right size is what we did with this image. We made it bigger or smaller when it was already in the document. But you can also do that straight from Photoshop and say, I want a photo to be exactly 5 by 7. So you can size that up in Photoshop first. Thus, when you just plop it in, it fits just right in to that 5 by 7 because you knew where you were going. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to use 5 by 7. I'm going to use a different size because I want you guys to think for a little bit. So let's go to InDesign. Right now, I'm going to do two things with you. One, I'm going to bring in any old photo here. I don't care if it's the perfect size or not. So just as, because I want to show you something here with text. And so let's bring in any photo or the same photo we've been using. It doesn't matter. Who remembers how to bring in a photo to a frame? What should I do to bring a photo in here?
Place.
Place.
Yeah, Command Place. Shortcut is Command D. It needs to be selected. If it's not selected, it doesn't work. So select it. And now that you have all these different things going on, you have the text frame there, you have, the box, make sure that it's the box that's selected. And now let's go ahead and say Command D or File Place. And now let's choose this little guy, the colors. I don't know why it has that whole name on it. Never mind. It's called colors.jpg, and then it has a ton of names. But now that came in at whatever size it came in. Remember, it's humongous because it's at whatever size it was in Bridge, and we didn't even bother to check Bridge this time. And if we go to links and begin to check it out, we can begin to see that it's thinking that it's a 72 ppi, thus not printable, but it's calling itself, it's 5,000 by 3,400, but it's set at 72 ppi, which isn't going to work if we want to print it. So what did I teach you to do? If you have a photo that you need to make it, and I don't want to say the word because it might point you to what I'm talking about. If you make it work, let's say with this frame, if the frame is 5 by 7 and it can't change.
The frame fitting thingamajigger there.
Yeah. So down here where there's frame fitting, right? So you can either fill, since say that we don't know how big this photo is, I can try first with fill frame proportionally and go, oh, that's good enough. If I wanted to try the third one, fit the content to the frame, then that's the one that kind of distorts or fit the frame to the content. We can't change the frame because we need a 5 by 7, right? So you have to choose one or the other. In this case, if I choose a second one, then I leave frame out. And this is the kind of image that it doesn't matter had we left a little bit out. So I'm going to go with the first choice. So I know that it's filled from end to end, but I'm still got a little bit of extra on the top. And if I'm not sure if I have a little bit of extra on the top, look what's going to happen if I click the white arrow key and click. And it's showing me that the content is going a little bit bigger. See that? Now it bugs me personally to have that little line of teal there. So this might be a good time to move it over to either have one color or the other and not this little line. So I can choose either to have the bright green or to have the teal. Doesn't matter. But when you're stuck with a 5 by 7 and your photo's in 5 by 7, something has to give, right? So I'm going to say that I'm going to add this green and not have the teal in there. The only other way would be to make it smaller and not fit the 5 by 7. But now I've got a good filled 5 by 7 image, right? Did that work for everyone?
Yep.
All right. So now here's what I'm going to do with this one. And then we're going to do the one that we fit correctly in Photoshop. But I'm going to put this one in here. Say that this is a photo that's supposed to fit right here. So I'm going to go to this page. And there's a bit of a problem here, right? I'm kind of not seeing what's underneath now. Now, design-wise, I just went with 5x7 because we said 5x7, but design-wise here, a photo probably wouldn't really work as 5x7. It would have to be either the size from end to end of this or in the middle, or it would have to fit within the size of my design, right? If I'm doing a 2-column design, this should be either 2 columns or 1 column or exactly a column and a half. Like there has to be some mathematics to this. But what if this is going to be something that needs bleed? I'm going to be able to use bleed for this. What if I have like a whole bar at the bottom that has the name of the article or whatever? So this photo can bleed. If it can bleed, it means that it's going to be printed where the color is touching the edge of the paper, right? So if the color is going to touch the edge of the paper, if this is my line of the edge of my, here it is. This is, that edge is what I consider my line of green, let's call it. If that needs to be touching this edge, what line should it be touching? Where do I place it for it to be correct? How
Well,
far left do I go?
to that purple line, the bleed line.
Yes, to that bleed line, okay? I wouldn't leave it here. If I do W, that looks good. But remember, if the cut is wrong, that wouldn't be good enough. So I'm actually going to have to pop it a little bit further out so that it falls into the bleed, which means that if I didn't like how I cut that little piece of green before, now when I hit the W, I'm really cutting a piece of green again. See what I mean? Does that make sense? Because that piece of the photo is not going to be, ideally, the cut's going to happen right there. So that's what I'm end up with. And it's not going to look too good, is it? So you're having to make choices that if you have a design that has something like that on the edge, you need to know that it's possible. This is what you need to know, that it's possible that the cut might fall exactly where it should, which is right there. A little bit out, a little bit in, very far out, or very far in. So this bleed line, hit the W again, is giving me a safe space of this much distance, but that same amount of space has to be considered that I might need on this distance. So if the cut falls wrong in this side, all I get is more green. But what happens if that same amount of fall cuts over on this side? I might end up with this weird thing where I'm seeing just a little black line. You see that on this image? That would be pretty disastrous, right? Because it's not enough. It would be right there and it would look horrible. Can you say what I mean by saying that would be on this image pretty disastrous? So you might decide to put this photo somewhere else or choose another photo, but design-wise, that's a bit risky because I don't know how much of this green I'm going to see. And worst case scenario, the cut goes really wrong. I might end up seeing something like that, which is like really weird. Does that make sense? Like it might cut wrong and it might give me this little bizarre. So this is not a good photo to play around with because I won't know what is going to happen to that bleed. Does that make sense when I say that it could be about yay if the cut goes wrong one way or the other? Yeah? All
Yeah.
good with that? Okay. But let's
So
say
the only way that you would be able to find that out is if you did a proof.
no, no, actually, a great question. No, because you do a proof, they send it back to you. Most of the times, many times the proofs aren't cut. But even if they're cut, it's just the cut that happened that day. But you send it and they finally print it next week, and then the cut falls on a different part of the paper. In fact, in one job of 1,000 pieces, it might be that 200 come with the cuts in the right place, 200 come with the cut a little bit off because they're cutting it in batches. It's literally a machine that goes in and cuts. And if they placed it a teensy bit off, half of your job might have a little bit off, or you know what I'm trying to say? So no, that's truly something that happens the moment they cut it. So in your design, you need to consider that, is this going to look good if if the cut doesn't hit the right spot? That's why it's called a safe space. You need to account for that space and assume it will be used and not assume it won't be used. And it 90% of the times it is used. The other day I had a sample of some business cards that were sent to me. Not a sample, the final business cards. And it was a stock of 1,000. And yeah, half of them you could just tell because I'm looking, and it was just a millimeter off and the other millimeter in, and it's fine because as long as you design it well enough, it's not a big issue. But yeah, in the same stack of cards that came, that made a difference, right? So this would be a good photo to place in the middle or somewhere else. It's not a good photo to just risk putting on the bleed. But anyway, let's go ahead and put it in somewhere in the middle now, somewhere around there. And now let's make it a little bit smaller. Or bigger. I want it to hit either the edge or time and a half. So let's make it smaller for it to be time and a half. So I'm putting this right here on the edge of the inside margin. So I'm going to go grab this external edge, and I'm going to hold the Command and Shift for me. If it's a PC, it would be Control and Shift. And I'm going to just drag it in a little bit so that it reduces proportionally. Basically, I'm saying I'm not cutting in the frame and cutting photo out. I'm not doing that. I was just proportionally reducing it so I still have all the way from green to blue. Okay. And now I'm going to put this photo like there. Say that's the design I'm making. All right. So was everyone able to reduce it a little bit?
No.
Okay, so we're just putting our mouse in the corner and holding Shift Command, and then when you make it bigger or smaller, sorry.
I thought you said Option.
No, that's if you're a PC, you're using Alt or Option. If you're a Mac, you're doing Command Shift. Option or Command is PC, and Mac is Command. Option or Alt, I'm sorry. Option and Alt are the same key for the Mac or for the PC. It's called Option for the Mac, Alt for the PC. But Command is the control key for the PC. So it would be the Control Shift for the PC. Sorry, Control Shift for the PC. Yes, Ed? Your hand is up, Ed? Or is that from before?
I keep forgetting to go over to. I've got both Zoom up and I was on InDesign, so I was talking, nothing was happening. So when I'm using other apps like Word and just a whole bunch of other apps, when I want to take an image and put it into a bunch of text, it automatically changes all the text and puts a space in there. And yet we've dropped this on top of existing text, and it's covering up the text.
Yeah,
So,
I'm about to talk about that. I'm waiting for everyone to reduce the size, and now I'm going to show you that.
okay, thanks.
So is everyone managed to reduce that
Yeah.
size? We have it about, and at this point, if it has a different color, it doesn't matter. The whole point is this is an image we need to bring in. And yeah, the problem is we're covering up our text here. So there has to be a problem with that. So now let's go ahead and select our shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it some kind of a force field saying, hey, text, don't hang out around me. So we're going to select the text. We're going to have it over here to the properties panel. And then right there, you'll see the text wrap options. Okay. So right now, the default setting is that text and photo are one on top of the other. There's no text wrap. So we're going to go ahead and choose the second one, which is wrap around the bounding box. And now if you move this around, and we have such big text right now that it's kind of hard to see, but if you put it here in this little one, You can see it happening too. So we have a huge font size, so it's not so clear. But anyway, see how we're just like, we've become a persona non grata. Don't run over me. It might be, I have
How do you
some,
get to that again?
okay. So
Yeah.
down here on the properties panel, you have to
Properties?
select the photo, select the image, and then the properties panel, go find the text wrap.
Okay.
And this is allowing all the text to go under and everywhere, you know, so you can't
Oh, text wrap.
going under. And this one is hitting. Now, there's some problem with this box, and there's a problem with this example because I have such big font that you can't see it. But you see how it's giving me a different size on top and on the bottom? Like it's not very even. It's kicking it out, but sometimes it's working and other times it's not. Because this choice is wrap around the bounding box, and the bounding box is that line. So when there's a chance, the text is going straight up to the bounding box. You see that? Here, there's space because I put the box under that space. But if I could go a little bit higher, we could be putting it right up to that box. And then when it finally touches, it moves out of the way, and now it leaves this big space there. Over here, we have so little space that no word fits. So it can't give me words that are small enough to fit in there. So it leaves a big hole. So right now, this is making a bit of, it's working, but it's a bit of a disaster, right? I made us have a big photo, so it doesn't really fit well. But even if it were to fit well, it doesn't necessarily work for what we want. Now, if this photo had been smaller, so now let's go and make this smaller. Shift Command again to make it a little bit smaller. Whoops, I'm not doing it right. Command Shift and small. Let's make it 1 column wide. So I'm gonna actually fix that to make it exactly 1 column wide. There we go. Now we find that no matter, it still doesn't give us the nice space we want, but at least it's kicking all the text away, right? So if I put it in here, it's a bit easier on this box. I don't know if you guys made this box, but a box with small text. So for this example, we might want a box with small text so that you can see my example better. So if you haven't yet, on another page, let's make a box filled with small text for this. So you can just go and put in a text box and fill that with a placeholder text. And by default, when you click the placeholder text, it's going to show up at 12 points. So now I just put a big box, right? And I'm going to go bring that over here.
How'd you get all that stuff again?
Okay, so I just went ahead and chose my type tool.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went and I just drew a box from end to end of both sides of the page for now. Right. I put my mouse from end to end. And then I went and said, type, fill with placeholder text. You can also do right click and fill with placeholder text right there. And it filled. And now I'm going to bring that guy over and put it here. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to hit the W. Go ahead and hit the W because this column in this moment for this example is unnecessary. I want you to learn how to move all these numbers around.
Whoa, wait a minute. Oh.
If you have one of these boxes filled with size 12 point font and a box that's on top of it, if you're there with me, give me a yes. If you need some help getting here, because I did it like 3 times, and so by now you might be lost. I don't need you to do it 3 times. I need one box with text with one of these images on top of it. Then let me know that you're good or ask me for help.
I went to the restroom, so I missed the box part.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Let me just show you again. I need the W box to see that I just went and chose the type tool and made a box from end to end, so I filled the page like that. And then either right click or go up to type and choose placeholder, fill with placeholder text.
Yeah, I got that. I just can't get I missed when you did the picture.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I thought you said you missed the type. Sorry. So the picture, just make a box, just go make a, you don't need to bring him in the one from before. Go make a frame, make a box and place Command D, bring in a photo, right? At this point, I don't really care what photo you bring up. You just want a photo in there, right? So to say the truth, oh, sorry, that's the wrong one to hit. So I just want a photo of some kind, but if you did bring it in up there, I just made it bigger or smaller by holding the shift command. Oh, you're on VDI, so you would be control.
no, I'm on Adobe.
Oh, you're not, no, but on a Mac or on a PC.
Mac.
Okay, so then it's shift command. And then you can make it bigger or smaller proportionally.
I just don't understand how you got it so it doesn't cover the texts.
Oh, okay, so I didn't know what part, because there's three
Yeah,
things.
no, sorry, I should have said that.
Okay, down here, text wrap. By default, right now, it starts on the first one. And yeah, you're hiding the text. The second one wraps around the bounding box, and this is where we're at, which is okay, but it isn't really necessarily a good solution because on this font, I'm seeing that on the right side of the box, it's touching the edge, which isn't good. And over here, it's kind of threading. I know, not threading, whatever you call it. It's creating this path because wherever the letter ends, it ends, right? And then yet here it's touching. And then that line there is different in size than that line there. Yeah. Depending on where you drop it, you'll have a different experience. It would be better or not. But it's basically, if you hover over this, it's telling you text wraps around the bounding box. And the bounding box is that thing that holds the image, which happens to be the exact size of the image, right? So how do we fix that? Well, this isn't in case you have an object, and right now we don't have an object, we just have a rectangle, but say that you had a shape of a half moon, then the text might go in to that half moon. We're going to see that in a minute. But right now what we have is these numbers here down at the bottom of the text wrap. And what it's saying is how to extend that force field, I call it, or whatever, the text wrap out. So now I'm going to go ahead and say, I want this to have more space between the end of the photo and the beginning of it. So that would be this one here. So I'm going to make it bigger. So see how I'm clicking on this and making it a bit bigger? So now I've created a space. Since this is linked, all four have become bigger. Okay.
Let's
try it.
So now I have a
If,
space around it that I've chosen. But that said, in some places that seem, so like if I hit W right now, I've made some space around it, right? Now I'm going to make it even bigger. Looking at another one. And then all that space is wrapping around, depending on where your paragraphs fall or not fall, it might look like there's more or less space. Now, if this photo has to be there because that's where the story ends, and this one begins, then you might go, well, but this space visually seems to have more than that or that there. So then you would go over here and you would unlink this by clicking on that link in the middle. And then you might decide, okay, the bottom is going to have to come up closer. I'm going to do that. And so see how I'm changing the apparent extra space that we have here so that it kind of looks a bit more even. And then that one needs to come in a teensy bit, and that's the left side. That one.
is there a reason why I can't see any of those numbers below text wrap?
Once you select it, the numbers will be, let me mark it with the green. They're over here.
Yeah, I'm saying all I've got are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've just got I don't have the numbers.
Okay, let's share your screen and see what's happening on your screen. So basically I visually now, I fudge the numbers top, bottom, and left and right so that now it looks all balanced, even though my boundaries are uneven. Does that make sense? The space I allowed is uneven. Go ahead and try that.
Bob,
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
see
All
the
right.
three dots below
I
text
see
wrap?
it.
Click on that.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that there expands your text wrap
oh,
box. So,
oh, nice. Great.
okay, so guys, whenever you
How,
need
how is
more,
anyone supposed to know that information?
I don't know, mine had it open because now you know in any Adobe, again, it's learning Adobe, any Adobe program, whenever you have a box that for some reason or the other isn't fitting, right? So in this case, in your case, when you selected this, there wasn't enough space for the text wrap. So then whenever you see three dots, there's more there. And that is every single Adobe program. And in fact, even in Zoom, just about anywhere in the world, a three dots, computer world, the three dots means more, right?
Oh,
Always. So if you see three dots, you get more. Okay, over here, you get more. And then you click on it again, then you get less, right? So if it's not gray, that's because it's in reduced mode. And when you click on it, it's in more mode. All right. So
reduced.
yeah, I wasn't understanding what your question was, but Ed got it and he answered before you could share, but there we go. The three dots means more always. So now visually, my wrap is correct. Okay. Visually, but if you look at the numbers, I have different numbers in different places. I just had to nudge this one closer, that one further, this one a little bit less, and that one normal for it to give me what looks like even amount of space. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, depending on your design, if you have something that's very, very gridded and exact, you might not have to go for this, but that works until you decide to move it and you change it and you move it over here. And then suddenly it doesn't work again. It might or not work, but it might not work if, depending on where you left it, it needs to be pushed again from the top or from the bottom. So then you have to go, oh, now I have to give a bit more space in the bottoms. And then you try. You got to be careful because it's always going the text is going to go up or down based on the way the paragraph are set. So right now I moved it into a place where I was trying to find a bad one, where now the same size I had before gives me too much space there and not enough space there, even though I haven't changed the text wrap. It's just that I placed it in a different place. Does that make sense? If so, I need to go and work on the text wrap again. And I have to go, okay, now I need to add to the bottom and reduce from the top. And there we go. Now I have it kind of centered again. All right.
Wow.
But it allows you to put it wherever you want it as long as you know how to use that wrap. Now, and this might be even more blow your mind kind of thing. Watch what I'm about to do, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Or you can even play with that boundary. So you don't even have to have it be only in a corner. You can play around with it and decide that what you want is that you wanted it to have a different box altogether. And I'm going to show you in a second how I did that. But let me do like that, for example. Right? So what am I doing? I am messing around again with those text wrap boxes, but I am using, let me undo, undo, undo. So let me zoom in. Who remembers how we distorted a shape in Illustrator? Did you guys remember how we did that? Let me just show you really quickly as a review, because I know we did it like, I believe the first day or second day we did a bit of Illustrator, but it's at this point with breaks and weeks in between, it's long gone. This is the file that we worked with. And I don't know if you guys remember that I was showing you the differences between the black and the white arrow tool. So let me just show this to you again. Here's a rectangle. The black arrow tool works with the bounding box, which allows me to then distort it or change it only within its original shape, so to say, right? And then who remembers how I did that? What tool did I use?
No,
Hello? Cheryl, you're muted, but I think you said something, so. Do you remember what tool? Katie, anyone else remembers what tool I used? I just told you what I used this to teach you what. I told you the difference between what when I taught you this. I was teaching you the difference between the black arrow tool and the white arrow tool, right? The black
Okay.
arrow tool dealt with the bounding box, and the white arrow tool deals with the content, remember? So the content allowed me, the white arrow tool allowed me to do this, right? Okay. So by the same token, in InDesign, whoops, I made a mistake and opened something I didn't mean to open. Let me gotta wait until it opens to quit it. Okay, sorry, I clicked on this without meaning to, so let me quit that. Okay. InDesign. Okay. So now if we approach this box, we'll discover that with our black arrow tool, we're working with the bounding box, which is this, right? Same as I just showed you in InDesign. But that line there, that thin little line, that's what I call the force field. It's our text wrap line, right? Y'all good with that?
Okay.
How do you grab that line? You can't grab it with the black arrow tool. You have to grab it with the white arrow tool. So I'm going to switch to the white arrow tool. Once I've switched to the white arrow tool, now suddenly this box that before was not grabbable, now it has a teensy little box there that you can grab it from. Then you can grab and move it in or out
Gotcha.
or in or out. Right? And so that's where I just did that. And I made all the text follow that line. Is that good?
Cool.
Now, this is a teensy weensy little example, weensy, of what I mean by InDesign beyond the basics allows you for way more, so to say. Does that make sense? You can truly do whatever you want with it. And this is a little example of that, in that you can manipulate even the position of that wrap. Now, how cool is that when you have a shape that you want to create just for art's sake or design's sake or whatever sake? The problem always is that our right side is going to do a very straight line, but the left side is going to depend on how this is justified, right? So if this text had been right justified or force justified, it might work better like that. So now I have an actual triangle or a line, and that's because I went to the forcing that line to finish in there. But then you end up with lakes, which is a different issue. But anyway. So yeah, so you can do whatever you want with this extra. Did that work for everyone? And by the way, I've been doing so much text work and we haven't been doing any screenshots. So this would be a good time to do a screenshot of the text wrap stuff. Let me go over here and post that guy.
So Diana, there's times I've seen something that's printed that has basically a shape that they have created that is not just, straight lines.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. So let me just write the selected image and place it on top of the text, so that has to be the order. The image has to be on top, which you guys just did because I told you how, but it's not the other way around, right? The image has to be on top. And then you can choose different text wrapping options from the properties panel. If you need to hand size those boundaries, use the numbers field below the text wrap options to alter the distance of the image to the text. And then finally, if you want to select those boundaries and move them by hand, you have to switch to the content or white direct selection tool, white arrow. Direct selection tool. And let me put that photo in there. Okay. So, let me see what you guys are doing to make sure that it's working. Okay, here's Ed. Cool. Let me go to the next one. Cool, Katie. Moni. Oh, you're doing text threads. Okay, so that's it. The rest. So it's just those two. Did anyone else post their wraps? Okay. Oh, Rhett, this is with your image in there. Cool. Okay. So now the image, you know how in the first poster that Moni worked on, this one, you know how I liked how she had kind of done this thing around the guy, the trumpet, and then we had her change a bit. Did you ever post the one with the corrections, Moni? I don't know.
I thought I
Okay.
did, but
Yeah. Anyway, now if this had been a bunch of text, this could have been a cool one to just kind of go in and like have the text do something like that, for example, to get that effect. I just don't know if I see it anywhere else. You posted other stuff. Oh, is this the poster? Oh, maybe that's the revised poster. Yeah. Okay, cool. You did. I'll look at it later. But so if you have a shape that you want to follow, you can play around with that. Let me see. And it wasn't necessarily where I was going to go, but since you asked, let's do this. Let's bring another box of text. So if you have a second one there, if not, bring another one in. I'm gonna see in Bridge. Let's see if I gave you guys an image that's gonna work for this. If not, we can create one in Illustrator. None of these are images that you can really. Well, I was hoping to show you some Illustrator stuff. What time is it? Do we have time to do it? 7:49? Yeah, we have an hour. Okay. Let me see, because I have some folders in here. Let me see, sort by type, because I believe in the file formats, I have an example that works. Yep, here we go. If you guys go to the folder called File Formats in Bridge, I have an image here that'll be perfect for this example. So for now, just let's go back to InDesign and we're going to place this file. Okay, so let's go to InDesign and let's go ahead and place this file. So let's say, did y'all have a block of text?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a block of text right now, a new one, did you make one? You have another block of text, you guys? Okay. So now we're going to bring an image on top of this block of text. We're going to go to File Place, okay, Command or Control D or File Place. And we're going to go into our files and we're going to go into the folder called File Formats. Double click on File Formats. And we're going to use the one called Formats Photographer PNG. The PNG version. There's many formats photographer. We're going to go to the PNG version. Now, the PNG version has transparency turned on, so he has no background. He's been cut out of his background and he has air around him. Okay? So now we're going to open and we're going to just drop this guy and then we'll decide what size we want him. But say that we want him about yay big or something. I don't know. Yay. See how what I meant by having transparency on that file? The text follows underneath him. You see that?
I don't see any of this.
If you get here, let me know. When you say you don't see what to bring in, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to do File Place, Controller Command D, and then go to the class files
Yeah.
and look for the folders. There's one called File Formats.
Oh, should I have these things as a list?
Whichever way your computer is showing them to you, I like seeing them as
Just
a
see 'em- I'm seeing them all as little, icons.
icons. Yeah, you could be seeing them like that.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is-
look, oh, yeah, I found this thing.
I when I teach people to use the Mac, I teach them icons. I think is the least useful system to me. So I never see things as icons. I see things as names, but whatever. Whichever way, you'll see a folder called File Formats. When you double click, you'll see this photographer many times. The one I want is the one. So here, let me just show you in icons view. Look at all of these and choose the one that's the PNG version of him because I have many versions of him. Choose the PNG.
Okay, okay. And what was I supposed to do something before this?
No, just choose that and then say open and then he'll come in to InDesign on the tip of your mouse.
Say, oh,
Did you do it? Were you from InDesign and you said File Place to go find him?
no. I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
Honest-
let me stop my share. Go ahead and share your screen and I'll
ah,
see how to help you. Go ahead and share your screen.
ah.
Okay, so now,
There
first
it
of
is,
all,
PNG.
before you do that, you're in Bridge. Go back to InDesign. I don't need you in Bridge right now. I need you in InDesign. You could drag it in from Bridge, but just move InDesign up again because I need to see the whole InDesign document. You're more, you're not there yet. More, I need to see all your tools. Okay, and now you're jumped over to the left and I key your left too, so bring it back to the right. If there's one thing I could teach you, Bob, would be just to not do this, but to click on your tags, you'd be much better off. But never mind. I need to see, just scroll up or down. I need to see a page where you have a bunch of text. And if not, we need to make it. Okay, go down to the next page. There you go. And select this box.
Where?
Select this
What?
box of text.
Oh,
Or I don't know if you have any extra text on it. And if not, I want you to create a new box of text. Let me get my tools to mark. Here we go. So the problem is that I don't know because I don't see the bottom of this, whether this has extended text or not. So let's just make a new box. Go choose your type tool. Go ahead and do Command or Control 0 to see the entire page. Right now, we can't draw something to the bottom of the page if we can't see the bottom of the page. So do Command 0 so that it pops all inside of your page. There we go. Now you're seeing the entire page, see? Head to top to bottom. Okay. So now, with your type tool in hand, place it in here and drag it to here. So we have text that goes from end to end. And you didn't drag it to the end. You dragged it only to there. So can you just do Command Z and do it again? I want you to go from end to end. So put it in there and drag it all the way to there. But you need to undo that because you already have one there. So now you have two boxes and that would be confusing.
what?
Command 0 again. Just Command 0. Okay, or there. Now you see end to end. Okay, go for it. Give me a drag from the top to the bottom, but have your mouse touch the red there. So you know you made it a bit longer. Like you need to hold to those margins, right? So
Yeah,
okay, never
I
mind.
should
It's
do-
bigger, but that's fine. Go ahead and now do fill with placeholder text. Command either go to type fill or right click. Yeah, there we go. And fill with placeholder text is down here at the bottom. No. Down, down, down. Yeah. There we go. Fill with placeholder text. Perfect. Great.
oh,
Oh, it didn't pop in. There it is. It's popping in. Okay. Now, shift to your selection tool now. Yeah, perfect. Click on that selection tool.
yeah.
Okay, great. Now, with that selection tool in hand, I just would like you to go and grab this little box and just pop it back in so that it actually finishes at the margins, right? So just a teensy bit in. Tick. Yeah. So this line, I hate when I lose my green line. This line, yeah,
Where?
perfect. Okay, good. Now let's go and bring with file place or Command D the image of that photographer. There it is. You're up. Here, file
No
place.
idea what file place is.
Okay, there it is. I lost my color
Well,
marker.
info.
There's the place right there. File place. Otherwise, just Command D. Here. Oh, the color sometimes for people when share, sometimes the color stays, sometimes it doesn't. There it is. You found it. File place. Perfect. Okay. Now go find the folder. If I were you, this box would be so much bigger so that I wouldn't have to be rolling so much. I would grab it from here and drag it open so that you see stuff that's in there. But if you don't want to do that, then I see there we go. So there's your folder called File Formats. Don't know why. Yeah, double click on File Formats. Yep. And now Format Photographer PNG. That's the one that we want. Double click or click and open. All right. Good. Oh, okay. Here's the problem. I forgot to tell you not to have the box selected. You had the text box selected, so this photo replaced your text. Go ahead and say Command Z to undo what you just did.
Oh, there, look, it's here. It's on the end of my,
Yeah, no, but say Command Z. Command Z.
again?
You
Second
replaced
time?
yeah, Command Z again. Command Z one more time. There. The problem is that you still had this box selected. So what you did is you replaced your text with your photo, and I didn't want to do that. I want to put a photo on top. So click away so that this box is not selected, then do the file place. Okay, so just click away so that, yeah, click somewhere outside of this text box because this text box is still selected. And if it's still selected, the thing you place will replace it. So you need to click somewhere neutral. And right now, there we go. Did you click somewhere neutral? I didn't see you do that.
Yeah,
Sure that you did. Okay, great. So now file place and bring that guy in, the PNG. Okay.
oh, I see. Oh, this is so tedious.
That's more, getting accustomed to the computer and you're working with an image. Okay, so now click and drag to make it appear here in this image. Click and drag. Yep. Is it coming in?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, so I'm going to stop your share and I'll continue
Okay.
with mine. Okay, everyone else good before I share? Any other questions? Did this work for everyone? Yep. Okay. So now I have this photo on top of text. If everyone is here and you're all good, I'll continue. So stop me if you're not here, okay? Because I don't want to move forward with this photo is not on top. Okay, so now I'm going to put this guy like bottom right or something like that because position wise, he's pointing that way. Or if I now, and this is a photo that already has no background, right? Because it's something, that's the format that I brought it in. When I now go and click on wrap around bounding box, which is the one we used before, it does what we ask it to do. It wraps around bounding box. Yeah. But that's not what Ed wanted to do. Ed wanted to see if we could wrap around the guy, or he said a shape that's different, right? So that's when the next one, wrap around object shape, comes in handy. I'm going to click on that one. Oops. I would have assumed. Okay.
I couldn't make it work either. I'm wondering whether I'd have to go in and put that image in Photoshop,
No, no,
select
no, no.
object and copy it.
No, that it's always worked with a PNG. Huh. It's always considered this an object. I've done this exact example. It's been a while since I've shown it, but that's what this image is here for. Um,
Looks like a Gitzo tripod there.
yeah, but I'm more concerned with the fact that I'm not getting the effect that I wanted to show how to then you're supposed to get a perfect path going in and out, and it's not giving that to me, but I also can't add points to it. So this is not what I wanted to do. Um, and that's the one I've always used. What in the world? Why is it not working with the PNG? So let me check for a minute because things change all the time and I haven't done this example in a while. So I'm wondering, give me a second while I try with just an Illustrator shape. I put this flower in there and I consider it an object. Huh. What in the world has changed? I can't tell you how many times I've done this. There was a client I had that always wanted everything. Like the whole point is I should be able to draw all around this guy and make the text go right to the edge of him. But the same thing I've done forever, even with an actual object, like an Illustrator object, isn't working. So have they changed the text drop tools? Um, there should be a whole path around him, but I don't have a clipping path on him, so I can't really use that. All right, there's no clip. Okay, I need to figure this example out, and I don't know why it's not working because I've done it this way forever. Um, let me do, just in case there's a quick answer online. What the? Um, text wrap around object in InDesign. Choose window, text wrap, choose rectangular, learn how to text wrap around images. Text wrap around subject not working in InDesign. Okay. Detect edges. Oh, there is a new, there was an AI, I'm thinking because they created an AI version solution to this, and I'm wondering if that's why it's not now paying attention. I forgot there's a new, is it find edges or something like that? Okay. I think I know what's happening. There's an AI version of doing this now that I don't have. Over here, there should be a find edges of object that I'm not seeing. Okay, guys, I'm going to look into this one. I can't give you, they changed how to do it because now there's a tool that's AI that would find the edges and then you can modify it, but I don't remember how to pull it up right now.
There is on my image at the bottom, there's a little icon that I click on it and it's saying something about AI, but it's unreadable because it's green against our background and I can't read it very well.
But mine isn't giving me that choice, which is bizarre. And it should be appearing, if not on the photo, for sure on this object. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. And over here is where I would have those, or there'd be it in the contextual choice. So I'm gonna look into it. I don't know it's changed. Usually you would just choose this shape and you would just draw the edge around it. It was so simple. But by doing it AI, the choice isn't here anymore, and I don't remember where to pick it up on. The goal, like, had this worked, and then see what the new version is, our text would do this around the guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it would also do this, which wouldn't look good. And so then we would fix it so that it would actually end up just doing this, right? And so you'd have this perfect little text going around this edge, or in this case, you'd have the text doing that. But I remember now that they added some way to detect the object, and I don't see that choice. So find similar info. If I here, it should say detect edge or something like that. And I don't see where that detect edge is. So anyway, hang in there. I'm going to leave that there and look into it because that bugs me tremendously. So leave it there and we'll get to it. But it's the same idea. You should be able to select the image internally, and then that image should be able to snap itself to the object, which in this case would be the guy, or in this case would be the flower. And then you can just, make it match even better. But it's not, the choice isn't here. So I don't know. I'm lost without it. Okay. So for now, we'll leave that page there. Let's do, I haven't bothered with the basic text stuff like making the font bigger, smaller, colors, size, character, shape, all of that. But there's a ton more to talk about that. What time is it? 8:09. I want to do a bit more text with you guys in the context of making it. We haven't saved this file yet, so go ahead and save this file. I haven't. Maybe you guys had saved it. I had told you to save it before, and I hadn't done it yet. So this is a type practice. So that's what I'm going to call it. Text or type practice. Let's go ahead and
When you say save this file, what do you mean?
Command S, Control S. This whole file I had not
Oh,
given it.
oh, the whole thing. Oh,
I had not saved this whole thing yet. I said before break, I said, everyone, let's save the file. And then I noticed I hadn't saved mine. It was still untitled. So I just did a Command or Control S. Okay. God, now I can't stop thinking about what that is, but I'm going to ignore it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of text work in Illustrator. Because if this had been like the headline to this article, we might have made it be some kind of a headline that's more interesting than just some text work, right? And that might be something we might do in Illustrator. So let's head over to Illustrator. Those of you who haven't
And
opened
so
yet.
you've killed InDesign, no?
What's that? If your computer is struggling with all these programs, then yes, go ahead and kill InDesign. I was going to do some Photoshop work with file sizes, but I'd rather continue with text, and I'll do that file size thing next class. So let's go into Illustrator. I can keep them all open. My computer can handle it, but if yours,
Yeah.
for any reason it's struggling, then
It's fine. You know, what about the text library? I mean, how does that work? I sort of messed with that once upon a time.
mhm. Yeah, so I can show it to you in either of the three programs. I'll show it to you here inside of Illustrator right now. So let's go to Illustrator and let's say new file. And again, if you need to close the others when we need InDesign again to bring this in, we'll open it. Or if you had Photoshop, close Photoshop. Let's go to Illustrator, new file, and let's go to print. Okay. And again, here's templates that you could choose to fill in, but we're going to go ahead and head over here to inches. And we're going to make this one be 5 by 7. No, we're going to do it 7 by 5. Sorry. 7 by 5, which I guess we could have said just 5 by 7 and then flipped here the orientation. 7 by 5. And we're just going to have, maybe let's do 2 art. Well, let's do 4 artboards. 4 artboards.
Oh, weird.
Okay, so 7 by 5, 4 artboards. Are we all good?
Mhm.
And say create. And so we've created 4 artboards in Illustrator. Give me a yes once you're here. Cheryl, you got it? Oh, Katie had to leave. Yeah, that's true. She mentioned. All right, Cheryl, you good? Rhett, you good? You guys have Illustrator open or not yet? Cheryl's okay. You wrote not yet. Okay. And Rhett?
Not yet. Trying to get it here.
See, Cheryl wrote, was it the lasso tool? No, it's
This is you.
no.
Dude. This is not you.
Okay, do you need help? Anyone? Does anyone want to share their screen? Let me stop mine. Meanwhile, I keep looking into, I'm all bothered by,
Diane,
yeah, I'm stopping my share here. Go ahead and share anyone who needs.
how do you my view went to the total of what you're showing me, but I want to get back to Illustrator, but it's like my whole screen is everybody. You know what I mean? And
Your whole
so
screen is
if I go
everyone?
up to view, it says speaker gallery, multi-speaker. Do you
Yeah, I use gallery, but when
use
you guys,
gallery?
that's because I want to see all you guys, but if you don't need to
But
see
yeah,
the whole
so
class, you can choose just speaker.
just speaker, okay.
If you want, I mean, it
Okay.
depends if you want to see the
But
rest.
still that's it's just you now. So
Yeah.
how do I shrink it so I could bring up another page?
Um, you need to actually then, if is it filling your entire screen?
Yeah,
Okay, so hit your escape key first,
escape.
top left key. And now you should be able to grab from the edges and manually make it smaller. Like the outside black edges of the Zoom. And now you
Oh,
can,
I see.
does that make sense?
Something. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see here. Let's see if it works here.
I'm looking
Oh,
at
here
Ed's
you go.
photo.
Okay, I got it.
Is
Okay.
that Champagne, Ed on the beach? By
It's
the
in
volleyball?
now we're going to Illustrator.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And go to points.
We're at 8:15. I won't be able to finish this example. Okay. So we're gonna just get this going so that we'll do as much as we can, and we're gonna continue on Wednesday. But can I help or should I keep sharing? Did you open up? Cheryl, I'm not hearing you. It wiped out what you had suggested to do. Since I can't hear you, I'm not sure what's happening. Do you want to share your screen so I can see what's happening? I restarted and fixed it. Okay. And this, by the way, is your new fully installed set, right? You're not in VDI anymore. Finally. All right, guys. I think Rhett, you said it's working, and Cheryl, it's working, so I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so here I have 4 artboards. I want us to do first, since we won't have much time to do a ton more, I want us to have a feeling for what we just did in InDesign and do it here. So rather quickly, let's go down to the T for type. And if you're an illustrator in the beginning mode, you should see the word select above these tools, shapes above these tools. So I think that that's the beginning illustrator mode that you're in. If so, under type, there's 3 different T tools, right? Go ahead and there's something that you don't see in either Illustrator or InDesign or in Photoshop. There's 2 main T tools, area type and point type, and they are very different types. For logos, we would use point type. For text, like we did in Illustrator and InDesign, we would use area type. Okay, so first let's choose area type for a second.
I'm sorry, but I've got type on a path tool and vertical type tool. That's
So
all
then you're not in the getting started mode. Let's go over here and look at what tool are you in essentials and classic? What are you? What is your workspace?
essentials.
Okay. So do you have getting started?
Yeah. Oh, I'll click on it.
Slip on, choose getting started. And if not, we'll all switch to essentials because getting started wasn't there in 2025. So I was wondering, but if you're in 2026, you have getting started. Just to start with the ones that
I do see two T's now.
okay. Oh no, Cheryl, now it's frozen. Did you close InDesign and Photoshop? Just design and I don't know, close some other, or if you have anything else open, make sure to close anything else that you have open that's not these apps. Okay. So let's just go to the second type tool. Let's just do the regular type tool. Okay, so we're going to go to the regular type tool, the T with nothing else around it, the second one. And as usual, it's one thing if you simply click, another thing if you click and drag. We're going to just click and drag and make a box for text to fill in, okay? So we're going to make it about as big as this first artboard, and then we're going to let go. And as opposed to InDesign, this time, it already fills itself with placeholder text, right? So I'm going to undo that again. If you had just clicked, you get a little line called Lorem Ipsum. That's point type. We'll deal with that next week. Command Z, and this time click and drag and make yourself a big box. and it'll fill itself with text. It's auto placeholder text. Okay. Is that good? Give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry, Cheryl, give me a, oh, can't stand this face, but yeah. Maybe once we're done and you close all these things and you look at it, it'll work for you if you close everything else and stop Zoom. All right, Rhett, did this work for you? Bob, did
Yeah, how do you get the text in?
it comes in automatically in Illustrator. Okay.
And where do you
So-
go to do that?
Select the T that you see here, that's just the regular type tool.
Okay,
And then just click and drag, make a
Okay.
box. And when you let go, text
Oh.
will fill in the box.
well, I did that. It didn't fill in.
Really?
Uh,
That's
that's weird. Okay, I'll try again.
okay. That's make sure you have the one that's the T for type tool and not any other,
Okay.
because that's the only one that's the regular T for type tool. Hit the T on your keyboard to get the type tool. You'll get that one. And you'll make a box. And see how each time it's like filling it differently. Did that work now, Rhett?
No, I'm still working on it. Let's see here.
Bob, how about you? I haven't seen a yes from you.
Yeah, I sent you a yes, yes,
Oh,
fine,
I don't see the yes right now.
super
but
duper, etc., etc.
Okay, text.
Champagne glass, tinkle.
Okay.
I'm gonna zoom in. It's working now? Okay.
Yeah.
Norm, this one desktop with the words lorem ipsum, right? And that's the lorem ipsum text. Okay, good. So now go and select your selection tool, the black selection tool, the one that's on top.
Okay.
And now we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did in InDesign. We're going to go ahead and grab this box. We're going to make it smaller and see how the text kind of wraps around. We're going to make a little box right there, or maybe make a longish box right there. And basically a lot of text has been hidden, right? You don't have anything here telling you it's an error this time. But you do have that little red box at the top. You see that? That little red box at the bottom right. So now I'm going to click on that little red box, and here's the extra text. And now I'm going to click and drag and make that extra text go there. And see how the thread is automatic this time? So it's very similar, but it's not identical. Now I'm going to pick up the rest of that text and I'm going to put a little box right there. So basically I can now show you that what we're doing is the same thing, right? And if I were to select the middle box now, and this time it will, if I go to the fill and fill it with color, it's gonna fill that text from that box only. This is what I was trying to do in InDesign, and instead I had to choose the text, but in Illustrator you can choose the box. And again, the reason I want you to make that color change is because now I want you to make this window smaller, and the stuff that doesn't have space to fit in here has to go to the next one, right? And you can see then that one pushes that stuff into the next one. Does that make sense? It's the same stuff we've been doing. Now I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to make this one smaller, and all of the pink stuff is going to go to the bottom one. It's the text threads that we did before. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make this one bigger, and now it moves around. Yeah. There's something that's cool here is that if I were to make a shape and continue the text, so say that I make this a circle here right now. I'm going to just do that for a second. And when I pick up this text from there, and now I'll just put it in here. Whoops. I'll put it in here. Then I can also get that text to fit into this shape. Okay. Make it smaller, or if it fits in there. So it doesn't matter what shape you're following. It's considered a text box, and that area text is following through. If you've managed to do something like this, by the way, let's do a screenshot, and that'll be our last screenshot for the day. And if you need help with this, please let me know and share your screen, and I will start helping you. Let me first put this. What is that?
Cool. So you're gonna shrink it.
There. Where's my window that had my digital design techniques?
Cool.
So let me post this. Meanwhile, raise your hand if you need help. Mm.
No idea. Raise hand. The hell, raise hand. Oh, here
Or
you
just
go.
or just tell me I need help and just share. Okay.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with the essential setup at the beginning.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. Share your screen and let me help you out. Okay. I see Ed put the stuff in there already, and so did I. Share your screen and I'll give you a hand. And save the file. Okay. So, it's actually working. Fine.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any of this stuff I mean, I was doing fine adding this text and
Yeah.
putting it here, but then you went over here but I had nothing there. And all of
Okay.
these things
Yeah.
were
Okay. So
completely,
there's nothing there right now. Go ahead and select the top one, the top text box. You have two text boxes in a row. You have that one and you have that one, right? So go
yeah,
ahead and
and I got
select.
that one too.
Okay. Then you have this one. So go ahead and select the middle one is what I had done. Select that middle one. Yep. Click on it. Okay. You're still selecting the top there. Now I went over
Nope.
here to the fill. Let me clean all my, for some reason, whenever you share, my boxes don't empty themselves out. My pink. Okay. So go over here to the fill. Oh,
When,
over here to the fill. Way over there. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why things move around. You're staying. Why are you bringing InDesign up? Stay in Illustrator. You are fine.
it's
Okay, you're fine. Just stay where you are and let me clear my green lines because now everything's moved so they don't match anything. Okay. And again, no matter how much I clear my drawings, they don't clear out. It drives me crazy. There, now they cleared out. Okay. So now you have this box selected, right? And we want to change its color. So I went over here to the appearance fill and chose a color. Not to the
Yeah.
word fill, but to the box. Yeah. Perfect. Click on that and then choose pink or some bright color. There's a lag. Yeah. So now choose a color. And there you go. A bright color that is more obvious, but about purple. There we go. You chose it. Okay. And now we went back to the boxes and I was just changing them in size to see how the text threads up and down, just like we did in InDesign, right? So if you go and grab this box of text and you make it bigger or smaller, since this is almost the same shape as that, it would help if you had a different shape so it'd be clearer because you have like make it a little square. Yeah. I'm trying to clear my green. There it is. There it is. So that just went into this one and the same exact thing that we did in Illustrator is happening, that it's threading and InDesign. And if you make one small, the other one gets big. When the small one gets big one gets small. Okay. So and the text threads appeared automatically. Like we didn't have to say, go view, show text threads. They just are part of, they automatically are pointing to you where the text is coming from and where it's going. And then
So if you, oh, sorry.
if you
Well, I
want,
just wondering if you raise this one up here, you wouldn't read it like this, would you?
well, as a designer, you probably need to know not to put a text box above the other one. Let me answer your question and let me stop your share. I'll answer your question and then we're gonna be done for today. But watch. This is the thing. I know that this is the first one and this is telling me that. But if by any chance I make a mistake and drag this one down there and put him up there and put him here, when when I don't select something, right? This means nothing to us, so we can't tell. But in reality, we would notice that the story starts here. Like it would look weird. Like, what's this saying? Illustrator, when I click, is telling me, well, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. So it doesn't, if I make this one bigger, it's going to draw from the next one. It's up to me to not do that. You know what I'm trying to say? Yes, I can mess things around, but hopefully, if I'm seeing something like that is happening, I would avoid it and I would go, people are normally going to go from here to here, not from here to there, because our eyes read left to right. So then I should do that and place it the right way myself. And there you go, right? So that is up to the designer, right? If you create confusion with your design, then yeah, people won't know whether to go there or here, but hopefully, because once you click away, the threads are gone. So you just need to hopefully have put them in a place that people figure out where to keep reading. I would probably have done this with my eyes right now, skipping that. So this isn't good, right? So I'd have to say, okay, so how do I get people to know that this is the second one and that's the third one? You basically have to probably do something like that. And then it'll be like, oh, okay, people know how to read. You know what I mean? That's up to the designer, because no, the text threads disappear once you click away. They don't stay with the document. It's up to you to put them in the right position. Okay, everyone save and post it. Just showing you basically the same kind of flexibility that you had with text and InDesign you have in Illustrator. What you don't have is a chance to say continue in page 47 because these are all individual artboards. Does that work if I put it here? Yeah, right now it does. But these 4 artboards will never print as a collated piece of pages. So that's the restriction in Illustrator. But if this is one big brochure or poster that's just one long page, then yes, I can do this. Posters that have text that continues in the bottom. Then the situation still works, okay? Make sure to save your file. I called it text thread practice. And then I will see you on Wednesday for our final meeting before we continue with the next classes on next Monday, okay? Hopefully you
Okay.
can get Cheryl your stuff to work. I think that it might have to do with being on Zoom at the same time and having how many applications open. See once everything closes up, if you can get this to happen. But this wasn't so different than what we did before. That's why I wasn't too worried. But yeah, we want to be able to see if we can get you to work with Illustrator independently. We were going to come back to this file and work on a logo kind of thing next class to bring into our InDesign. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios. Thank you, Moni. Bye.